Good evening, my darling batlings. Is your audio fixed, JKR? I don't think it's fixed, because if you're talking, I can't hear you. Don't you just love it when you... Oh, I'm getting some sound.
There we go. There we go.
There we go.
There we go.
There we go. There we go.
Sorry, I was switching over to my wireless headphones.
Yeah, right in the last couple seconds before, the timer ended, his audio decided to switch itself to, like, his built-in mic on his wireless headset. So he had to scramble to switch it to his proper microphone.
Yeah, which is stupid that it did that. And it happened yesterday, too, when I was talking to Kier.
So, I had some fun things today. I did my first PC upgrade all by myself. I installed a new SSD in my desktop so I can have some more storage. So now I've got 3 hard drives in there. Do you think that's enough hard drives?
Oni-chan, I need more head pats, Oni-chan. I'll let you hold my hand and we can do other loot things, but I need my head pats, Oni-chan.
Fucking hell, I'll pat your damn head now. Stop joking me!
Thanks for the head pat.
Also,
that was loud.
Yeah. But yeah, I think you deserve it for, the fact that you went and you basically went in and did an upgrade, a physical upgrade on your computer all by yourself.
Yes, I did it all by myself. Also, thanks to Nerdy for it and JKR stepping in, I was able to see Sonic 3 today. Little Christmas gift from the two of them, buying a ticket for me at the nearest theater that was showing it. I loved it. Definitely the best of the trilogy so far. Looking forward to what they have planned for the inevitable Sonic 4. Which
has already been announced to be in production.
Right. I figured. And I gotta say, without getting too much into spoilers, they took some creative liberties with the whole Sonic Adventure 2 story setup. That, I was a little iffy about it first, but I got into it. Like, I wasn't expecting, first of all, this movie's just shy over 2 hours long. So it's the longest in the series so far. I wasn't expecting it to be 2 hours and 4 minutes of Rouge the Bat played not in CGI, but in live action by Hitomi Tanaka, just doing nude yoga and jumping jacks for 2 hours and 4 minutes. Not what I was expecting for Sonic 3, especially given the trailers, but I'm not gonna complain.
Yeah.
In all seriousness, great movie. Go see it.
I was trying to hold back a laugh because I didn't know whether or not you wanted to keep the joke going. I was trying my hardest not to be heard laughing.
And Kier, I cannot answer the question of whether they gunned down Maria because I do not want to spoil anything about this movie other than I will say, for serious stuff, there are 2 post-credit scenes, so stay until at the very end.
Yes. But you know what, Kier, I'll give you a little teaser. Spoilers. That's it. That's what you get.
All right. So tonight we are playing the Silent Hill 2 remake because turns out Twitch does not like it when you stream the PS2 Silent Hill 2 because it's got this persistent noise filter over it that you can't turn off as far as I can tell. I'm looking into, there's a fan remaster of Silent Hill 2's original version that you can get through the PC version. But it's been removed from GOG, of course, now that the remake is out, because Konami tends to do that.
Of course.
They like Sega, they remove something as they remove the original as soon as the new one's out.
Also, Ari, quick question. How's my audio? Does it sound okay?
Yes, it sounds good.
Okay. I wasn't sure if I should bring the mic closer to my face or
No,
not.
you're good as is.
Okay,
a
cool.
good rule of thumb for, how do I demonstrate this to you without my body tracking turned on? You know the, like, hang loose sign, where you extend your pinky and your thumb and keep everything else balled up? That is the distance you want to be, your mouth to be from your mic to get picked up, but not be, so it doesn't, like, blow out the mic.
All right. Yeah, I was just shy of that, so I just adjusted it accordingly.
Yeah, you don't want to be right up next to it unless that's the specific sound you're going for.
Right.
Anyways, Silent Hill 2 remake tonight. I also got to see some of my family yesterday. Got to see my sister. We went to a record store and didn't get any records from it. Didn't have a selection that I was
Interested in?
nothing I was too interested in. Although what did catch my eye was they had a comedy section of comedy vinyl records. And I could tell that everyone had bought the ones that were good because the section was almost entirely old Bill Cosby albums.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, this is the leftovers.
God.
Anyways, let's get on in here and make sure that I have the audio turned on. Oh, it would help if I had the video source turned on. There it is.
There you go. There you go.
I've been playing a bit of a bit of the remake and a bit of the original back to back. Oh yeah. One more thing. There we go. Now we're ready.
One more thing.
Just to see how they compare to each other. And while the remake does extend things, certain sequences, it's still really faithful to the original. While updating some parts that I think were a bit clunky in the original, mainly like movement and combat. And they kept in the separate combat and puzzle difficulties. I like that. I'm playing puzzles on light because if I am correct in my assumption, Silent Hill is known for having really brain-teasing puzzles, and bruh, I'm not in a brain-teasing mood. I don't want my brain teased.
I wouldn't want you to be teased in general.
Well, it depends on who's doing the teasing.
That's fair.
Also, as you know, they redid the audio because it's a remake from the ground up.
Right.
New voice actors. The new James Sunderland does a really good job from what I've heard listening to both of them.
Yes.
Like, the new James does a good job at capturing, like, a guy who's kind of distant and detached and not sure of what's going on. Whereas Silent Hill 2's original one, it doesn't have bad voice acting. It's just kind of cheesy. It's not like Resident Evil 1 levels of cheese. But it's it works because everyone's supposed to be awkward.
Oh, yeah.
I might have to turn up the capture card volume a bit. There we go. Right around there should work.
Excellent.
Also, I like that they fixed something that people complained about in the initial reveal trailer, which was that shot of him looking in the mirror. In the reveal trailer, you could see his eyes clear as day. Whereas what's supposed to be in the original Silent Hill 2 was his eyes were obscured in shadow. So you couldn't tell exactly where he was looking. Like, obviously, you assume he's looking at the mirror. But if you, like, screen cap that and turn up the brightness in, like, Photoshop, you see he's not looking at the mirror. He's looking at the player through the reflection in the mirror. It's just like,
what the fuck?
Yeah, it's those kind of really subtle, haunting things that makes me get why people love Silent Hill 2 so much. I also did a lot of customization. They have a lot of accessibility options on this, and I appreciate that.
Well,
Like, I've gone with bold text and color-coordinated names,
waiting for you.
and a few other things, like getting rid of, like, tapping QuickTime events and replacing them with holding down the button. More games need that.
Yes.
Also, they definitely upped the combat challenge here. Enemies actually put up a fight on standard difficulty, whereas from my experience in the original Silent Hill 2, on standard combat difficulty, everything's still a cakewalk. And from what I've heard, in the original Silent Hill 2, if you go from, like, normal to hard difficulty, it's a massive jump in just the level of bullshit.
Mary died of
Oh, wow.
disease 3 years ago. So then why am I looking for her?
I also like that, from what I can tell, they kept the script almost one-to-one for, like, the key scenes.
This whole town was our special place.
Hey, Cobalt Rogue. Glad to see you here. Honestly, I'm still astonished that Silent Hill 2 is just not a complete fuck-up, let alone good. Yeah, that was my shock as well, given that it was Bloober Team and modern Konami. And, like, the current thing going on with, like, people praising the game on social media is, like, you don't praise Konami for not fucking it up. You praise Bloober Team because Konami were the ones who put out those awful trailers that made it look like it was going to suck. So, it's good in spite of Konami, not because of Konami. Also, I like that there's an option to turn on to play without the noise filter, so it's good for streaming on Twitch. In fact, that's the default option. The noise filter from the original is called 90s mode, which is something you can turn on when you start a new game. I almost forgot to grab the map from the car. A lot of, from what I've seen, I've played, like, the first couple hours of this and the first couple hours of the original. And from what I've seen, they've kept a lot of stuff, not exactly one-to-one, but if you know where certain key items are, it'll help you. Sort of like Resident Evil 1 Remake. Also, I had a busy day today. Apart from seeing Sonic 3 and doing a PC upgrade, my heat stopped working, and I had a leak coming out from the exhaust fan right above my toilet.
Oh, shit.
We had to get emergency repairmen over here. They were able to fix my heat, which is good, because it's in, like, the 30s to high 20s today.
Oh, yep.
But they weren't able to fix the leak because they can't figure out where the leak is coming from. So they're going to have to come by tomorrow to check that out. So I've just got a bucket sitting out. The problem is the exhaust fan is placed right above my toilet. So if I'm, like, you know, doing my business, I have water dripping on top of me and there's nothing I can do about it.
Ugh. It's like you're getting pissed on while you're just trying to do your business.
It's not like I'm getting pissed on. It's like a slow but persistent drip. Yeah, as you can see, I've played a bit of this.
It's like someone's groping around my skull.
Yeah, I like that some lines that were originally text only, like that one, are voiced now.
Yeah.
Also, almost complete lack of loading transitions, which is really cool.
That is
And
good.
the soundtrack is pretty faithful as well.
Nice. That's always appreciated.
Like, it's not one-to-one the exact same songs, but
Right.
it's, updated recordings of those compositions.
Yeah.
I was just.
Hey, it's okay. I didn't mean to scare you.
I will say, if you get the PC version of this, you might have trouble launching it at first, because there is a bug with Unreal Engine 5 that is impacting a lot of these early Unreal Engine 5 games, where it has to compile shaders at the beginning, but sometimes it fails to do that and just closes itself. There's a guide on Steam on how to work around that to get to launch at least once, so it'll compile the shaders and have them compiled so you can launch it consistently again. But apparently it breaks with every update on the PC version.
Go figure.
This is a brand new engine that not many games are on yet, so there's some bugs to be expected.
It's kind of hard to explain.
No, that's fair.
I'll be careful.
It also offers a lot of, the PC version offers a lot of graphics options, including, like, multiple types of,
I guess I don't really care if it's
scaling options, like, you know, your NVIDIA DLSS,
Why?
2 different versions of, AMD's, thing that they do, an Intel
AMD's
one.
nuts.
someone very important to me.
Okay, I'll admit it, you got me.
I'm looking for my mama. I mean, my mother.
Hey, I took my shot and I saw my opportunity and I grabbed it.
I thought
Yes, you did indeed grab these
my
nuts.
brother were here, but I can't find them either.
Fuck off. I should have just kept my big mouth shut. Oh god, I hate myself sometimes. Oh god. Not all the time, just sometimes.
Okay, I'm probably gonna have to turn up the volume a little bit more. Little bit more.
Little bit.
Probably around, like, here should be good for now. Because this game does have some really quiet ambience.
Oh yeah.
And also the dialogue is not, like, a lot of people shouting at each other. It's a lot of, like, really subdued conversations.
Hmm. I will say this, Ari. After being more exposed to your mom, just talking to her in general, compared to you, I like the fact that you talk quite a bit louder than she does, because she talks so subdued, and I'm like, I can barely hear her.
I keep
most of the
telling
time.
her that I miss a lot of stuff that she's saying because she mumbles a lot.
I know.
And then she denies
I
that
don't-
she's mumbling. She says, I'm just not paying attention.
No, you're paying attention. I'm certain of that. It's just a case where it's like when she was
Part of it is
talking, I
just
could
that.
barely
Part of
hear
it is just that she has a much thicker accent than I do, because she grew up in the
That-
eastern
yeah.
part of North Carolina, whereas I grew up around Charlotte.
Yeah. Which is fair. It was just like
Yeah,
I was,
it's not
like,
saying we're not saying that she's soft spoken, anything but. It's just that she
Yeah.
doesn't enunciate very well.
Yeah,
She's got more of that. She's got more of that Eastern North Carolina drawl to her talk words.
Yeah.
Whereas I've had
And,
people
like-
think that I'm from like New York.
Yeah. I mean, because it was like, I will admit, when we were in the car heading from the airport to your mom's place, it was hard to hear what she was saying. So
Yeah.
which is why I wasn't really giving her very straight answers, because I could barely hear what she was saying.
Yeah, it's also that she just doesn't have a good setup for her phone in her car. She refuses to get a phone mount. Like, I keep offering to buy her one. She says, no, I don't want one. I'll just sit it in the cup holder.
If you're going to use a GPS, lady, you're going to need a phone mount. Like, before my accident, I always had a phone mount for a good while. My ex gave it to me, and
Yeah,
I was just like, yeah.
I've been using I used the same phone mount for like 5 years until it finally gave up and stopped mounting.
Yeah.
The problem was it was one that not only had a suction cup, but it also had like a layer of glue on it. And that left behind like this globby, sticky mess on my dashboard and windshield from where I had previously stuck it. So my dad had to help me clean it up with like some Goo Gone and some high-grade isopropyl alcohol and a razor blade just to get all of it off.
Ugh. It always sucks me when you stick it in something and you can't get it out.
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba.
Yes, thank you. I'll be here all night.
Reminder for for the remainder of the holiday season is Twitch is having discounts on subscriptions for the holidays. They started doing that last year, and they're continuing it this year.
Oh, that's cool.
So if you haven't subbed to anyone yet, I'm not saying, like, sub to me, give me your money. I'm low-key saying that, but, like,
no, honestly,
if you ever want to subscribe to a channel, now is a good time to do it.
Yeah, but I will say this, guys. If anything, be like me and waste your free Prime subscription on Ari here, because he's worth it.
Yeah, I'm worth the $0.00 that you pay to subscribe for free. You see, I like to call it Bezos bucks because it's Amazon footing the bill for that.
Yeah.
So what you do is you just create multiple accounts and then also create multiple Amazon accounts and tie them all to Amazon Prime. So you have multiple subscriptions going on at once. Not the family plan, because that's too easy. And then give multiple free subs to the same person to artificially boost their income. See? Modern problems require modern solutions.
Modern solutions.
Well, the few Dave Chappelle things I'll still stand by to this day.
Let's see. But, another thing I managed to do yesterday was that I actually fixed my Studio Series Rise of the Beast Scourge finally.
Yeah, I saw. I'm happy that you did.
Yeah, I just needed a better screwdriver. But the one I was using just wasn't good enough. So I found a much better one, thanks to our friend Chuck.
Chuck coming in clutch again.
Yeah.
Talking about this game, I like that they kept a lot of like the smaller details of how Silent Hill 2's original version worked, which is like right now, you see how I'm just standing here and you can see that paper right there that you can clearly interact with, and you can see that James is turning his head towards it.
Oh yeah, I know.
That is a subtle visual indicator that's carried over from the original Silent Hill 2, where if you were near an enemy or an interactable object, they were kind of hard to make out with the PS2 graphics. So instead, James would tilt his head in the direction of, objects of interest.
Oh, okay.
It's something the game doesn't tell you about, but you can notice, and then you know to look for it.
Yeah. Okay. It's good to know.
Let's
see.
What is this?
And there's other things like you can't see it right. You can kind of see it right now. James marks stuff on his map as you explore. Like you see that squiggly line over by Wiltsey Road.
Yeah.
That marks that area has been blocked. That area is blocked off, and you can't get through there. You have to take a different route.
Okay.
He marks locations of puzzles, locations of like if you find a note and it tells you to go somewhere, he'll mark that location on your map so you know where it is.
Oh, okay.
And in this game, they occasionally, I've noticed, animate him drawing it on the map once something has been discovered. Like just
cool.
a quick little animation of him like scribbling on the map. Not something
Nice.
that breaks the game flow. That's really smart attention to detail.
Yeah, that is a very nice touch.
I also like the way the fog looks in the remake. It's not the oppressive, like, you know, circling nightmare of fog from the original, but it does a great job at obscuring everything around you, as it should.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
More of that stuff.
Because, like, fog is a key element in the atmosphere of the Silent Hill series. You have to get that right at the very least.
Yeah, because from what I always understood, I never played Silent Hill, but I knew this much of it, that it was like, the town itself was like consumed in a mysterious fog.
Yeah, it's like an unnatural level of fog.
Yeah.
And the reason for that in the original PS1 game was due to technical limitations. It was to mask the low draw distance that the game had. Which was a common tactic in a lot of games of that era, even carrying on into the PS2 era. But they, like, cranked it up to 11 and made it part of the atmosphere rather than just, you know, a cheap trick to make sure that you can't see stuff popping into existence.
Yeah.
Like, an example of a bad use of fog would be Superman 64 and its infamous kryptonite fog, where it just has this green fog that's constantly on the horizon to try and mask that the game has a really low draw distance.
Oh, shit.
And they try to write it off by saying, oh, it's kryptonite fog impeding Superman's progress.
Sure it is.
Even though it doesn't make sense for it to be kryptonite fog in the context of Superman 64's story, given that it takes place in a virtual reality environment. Yeah. Superman 64 is needlessly complicated for its simple story.
Yeah.
The sound design is so good. I love the slimy sounds that some of the monsters make. The monsters sound disgusting, and I love that.
Yes. Yes. That is impressive, disturbing, yet does not make me uncomfortable.
I will say, from the bit of the game that I've played so far, it does have a good, like, good creepy atmosphere. It actually got me unsettled at some points and kind of stressed out, which no horror game other than PT has been able to do. Which, you know, given that PT was supposed to be a Silent Hill game that got canceled,
yeah,
so canceled that you can't play it anymore unless you have a PlayStation 4 that still has it downloaded, because they made it so you can't re-download it.
Ah, fuck.
Or if you're like me and you hack your PS4 and install it from a third-party source.
Yep. Ah.
Aha, there we go, a health drink. Sorry, nutrition supplement. Yes, health drink. I like that health items are tied to a single button press now, instead of having to go through the menu.
Nice.
And they also make it a bit easier to keep track of your health if you're playing either on PS5 or with a PlayStation 5 controller. Because, you know how PlayStation 5 controllers have that, like, colored light bar on them? Around, like, the center of the controller? It changes color depending on what level of health you're at. Like right now, since I'm at full health, it's green. When I start taking like some pretty heavy damage, it'll go to orange, and then it'll go to red when I'm on low health.
Oh, okay.
A few Resident Evil games do that as well. I always like when game developers on PlayStation 4 and 5 make use of the light bar for, like, status indicators, given that there's no way to turn it off and it just drains battery.
Yeah.
Also, I like some of the design aesthetics of these monsters right here. I don't know what all the monsters in Silent Hill 2 are called. I like that these guys have, like, zippers on them. It makes them kind of look like a body bag.
Yeah.
Also, combat, massively overhauled. It's no longer, you know, ready your weapon and then swing, and you have to get into a rrhythm of it. You also have a dedicated dodge button, like that.
Nice.
But you're not, like, overpowered in combat. Enemies are aggressive, and they will try to interrupt your combos.
Okay. Interesting. Oh,
Which-
one last thing before... Sorry, Ari, I just want to say I'm sending you something for you to look at later, just so you know.
Okay. But yeah, to my understanding, a lot of the later Silent Hills focus more on the combat than the horror. And a big problem with that was that they made you too strong
Oh, wow.
by making you too versatile in combat without the enemies having the strength, numbers, or tactics to provide a suitable challenge. Yes, collect the dirty needle to inject yourself with later. That is actually what we're gonna do. These replace the first aid kits. They're now syringes.
I see.
So, like, syringes are like a big health restore, and they're less common. While health drinks are a small health restore, but they're more frequent. But they're both in limited quantities. You can't just buy more. Also, I like that you can use your melee weapons for breaking glass now. And they get creative with that. You can also break down some
nice.
walls later on.
Ooh. I gotta look at something on. I wonder. I can't remember. I'm assuming Stone Age Gamer sells games as well as the equipment, correct?
They do not. They sell a few aftermarket games, but not like used retro games. They specialize in like mods, consoles, repairs, and accessories.
Okay, because I was gonna say, just for the
if you were going to try and get Silent Hill 2, that is very expensive on the aftermarket.
Oh, I'm not talking about getting Silent Hill 2. I'm just talking about getting like a. I just thought of something because I'm like, for my Eggman cosplay, I just feel like since I use my my Game Boy Advance SP as as Sage, I currently have Pokemon Ruby version in there because it was the last game I was playing. I wanted to see if I could swap it out for a Sonic game that I do not currently have that I know of.
Which Sonic game is it? And I could send it to you.
Just a random. It doesn't have to be.
I have Sonic Advance and I have Sonic Advance 3. I could send either one of your choosing to you.
It really doesn't matter. So
you know what? I'll send you Sonic Advance 3 because that's the one I'm less attached to.
That's fine. Because like I said, I don't care what it is. It's just a thing to help add to like the a little attention to detail.
You were thinking of finding the PC version of OG Silent Hill 2 on the high seas, me Hardy. You can just go to the Internet Archive, because it's been taken down from GOG, which means, like, Konami is not very pursuant against, like, people archiving their abandonware. So, like, what I did for the PC version, so I can try out that fan remaster, called the Enhanced Edition, I believe. I found a repack on there. Like, one of the first results that came up. On the Internet Archive. And it was real easy to install. It comes with the Enhanced Edition, but I would recommend not installing its version of the Enhanced Edition because it's already outdated, and just download the current build of the Enhanced Edition from the modder's website. And, follow the installation.
Was that?
It was that thing. But
Let me
yeah,
ask you this,
Konami's not concerned about taking that. They're not like Nintendo. They're not concerned with taking down re-uploads of their no longer available games. Unless it's PT.
Let me ask you this, Ari. If you and I were stuck in Silent Hill, how well do you think we could survive? How fucked are we?
It depends. To my understanding, because keep in mind, I have not played much of the Silent Hill series. It depends on which incarnation of Silent Hill you're looking at. Because you've got, like, depending on the game, Silent Hill acts differently. If you're looking at, like, Silent Hill 1, 3, or Homecoming, it is, like, a cursed town, where, like, the curse is caused by, like, a cult ritual or, like, a cursed, like, child's spirit or something like that. Whereas if you're looking at something like Silent Hill 2, it preys on your insecurities, your weaknesses, your faults, and turns them into reality and tries to kill you with them unless you can accept your wrongdoings and come to term with them and atone for them.
So if you and I were stuck in Silent Hill 2's Silent Hill, I have a feeling that at least personally, I would probably be like more fucked than you, just because of my insecurities. But I don't know.
Like to give you an example of what I'm talking about with like how it plays with warping stuff that's related to you to create monstrosities that try to kill you. You know the iconic Silent Hill 2 nurses?
Yeah.
Now, this is just based on my understanding from what other people have said about it, right? They are supposed to be a reflection of James's psyche, specifically his repressed sexual frustration due to the death of his wife and not moving on from it. Which is why they appear as, faceless monsters with big tits that are prominently on display.
Okay, that kind of makes some sense.
Again, I've tried to avoid spoilers as much as I can for Silent Hill 2 so I can, see the plot unfold naturally.
Right.
And not know how everything's going to turn out.
Yeah.
Which is something I appreciate from Nitro Rad's reviews of the early Silent Hill games. Was for most of the Silent Hill saga, he didn't delve in. He either didn't cover everything that happened in the endings, or he would put up, like, talking about the ending, skip to this point in the video if you don't want it spoiled for you.
Understandable.
I appreciate when creators do that.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot of cool like lore details you get from these various memos you find. They're not always, stuff that gives you clues. Sometimes they're just like, telling you a bit about what Silent Hill was like before whatever the hell happened here.
Right.
Like here, in March of 1965, the town of Silent Hill was visited by the main Psychical Research Association. I don't think psychical is a word. After thorough examination, a team of expert dowsers from the association concluded the area surrounding the now historic Wiltsey coal mine to be highly active. They They also expressed their hopes for further research and exploration of the gorge. These hopes, however, were never fulfilled due to the location being restricted as a historic nature preserve, as declared by the Silent Hill Historical Society. Additionally, the idea was met with resistance from the local community, which claimed that the nature of the association's research would hinder tourist activity in the area. Questioning the credibility of our research and hiding behind day trippers seems like an excuse to prevent us from seeing what's really out there, commented one of the researchers. Unfortunately, none of the local representatives were available to comment on the matter. Editor's note: at the time of publishing, there exists no evidence supporting the credibility of radiesthesia or proving the effectiveness of any dowsing methods. Opinions expressed in this article do not reflect the author's views. Like, it's easy to forget that Silent Hill used to be like a lakeside resort town.
Oh, yeah.
Because you only see it like this.
Right. Excuse me. Ugh.
But you can
God
still
damn it.
see, like, remnants of what it used to be before it became a hellscape.
Yeah.
Filthy bugs.
Stupid bugs, you bug me.
I think it's dead.
You think?
Potentially. We could always double tap.
Yeah, do a double tap. Why not?
Also, I'm getting some vibes of some foreshadowing in these posters. Like, in the coffee shop, there was one that said "spill the beans" with the loved one, and this one says "wash away the stains of yesterday."
Weird. I feel as though I'm being foreshadowed.
Let's see who the hell remembers where that's from, because I know. He was foreshadowed, and then he never got to actually do anything, because we stopped the show.
Unfortunately. Yep. It's very unfortunate, but You know, that's the funny thing. I still enjoy doing that voice. If I could ever get that voice if I could ever do that voice in anything, any particular project we do whatsoever, whether it be with, together or just in a project in general, I'd say it would be a win.
Yeah, exactly. Just like I want to use the voice that I have planned for Sideways in something.
Yeah.
Even if, I don't get to use it for Sideways.
Right.
Not saying that, like, Armada Bridge is canceled or anything. I don't have that. I don't get to make that call anymore.
No, that's fair.
Get back here, you. Yeah. Get back here.
Get your ass back here.
Get your weirdly defined ass back here. Seriously, why he got a dumpy? Why he got a booty?
What makes you so sure it's a he?
I don't see tits or a vagina on it.
I don't see anything on it. That's the thing. So I don't know.
I see lots of uncomfortably smooth and slimy skin.
Yeah, that's my point. Get your ass out of there. We know you're in there.
Is it dead yet?
I don't know.
I'm gonna pulp it.
Honestly, if here's the thing, if you and I were to go into Silent Hill and deal with like this kind of shit so far, I'd be bringing my steel-toe boots.
Okay, but just wait until you come across the mannequins, because mannequins are one of my two bugbears in this game. Mannequins in the original were kind of harmless. They are not harmless here.
Oh no.
I don't know what got into him. He just started smashing the thing. Had to throw him out. He ran off, cried he'd fix everything. I gathered up what I could and still haven't found one of the buttons. Half the record is still lodged inside, but the other part's missing. Figure he must have taken it. Come to think of it, he did run towards Groovy. Anyway, better go check up on him, see if he's alright. He lives over at Saul by the pharmacy, apartment 9. And yes, I did have to give him a That's what I was talking about with marking things on his map. You saw him pull out the map and draw on it.
I didn't notice that, only because I looked away for like a split second.
Yeah, it's like a split second that he does it, but it's when you come across like major stuff that needs to be marked on the map, he'll pull out his map and draw on it, then put it away.
Oh, okay. Oh, a jukebox.
Yep. This is one of the additional puzzles that they've added that was not in the original. So we have to get the other half of the record.
Yeah. The vinyl. Yeah.
We also have to get the machine back in working order. We've got the coin that we need to pay for our song, but we also, on top of that, need to find the missing button so we can enter the song we want it to play.
Ah, yes. Button. Who's got the button? I think that's how that goes.
Button. Who has the... I don't know.
I don't know either.
I've just heard it from Mike Matei when he and James Rolfe were looking at that Inspector Gadget tutorial on how to operate a DVD menu that was included with an old DVD of the Super Mario Bros. Super Show, which indirectly led to the masterpiece that is Minecraft with Gadget.
Oh, jeez. The only reason I know what that is because True Prime would do it all the time whenever we were hanging out. When I said, what's the fucking button or whatever, he would just go like, button, who's got the button or whatever it was. And like, I never understood the reference.
Like, the way that I know it is like, Mike Matei started saying it because of how many times in the tutorial Inspector Gadget would say the word button. And the way he would like chomp the B sound in button. He's like, you know how when you operate a DVD menu, usually like the option that you have selected will be highlighted with like, you know, a outer glow effect on it. He refers to it as move the glow to the button that you want to press. Then press the enter button on your remote control.
God damn it.
Yeah, it's like this really long and detailed tutorial on how to use a DVD menu. Get back here, you. There he is. He gets the bonk. That's not a bonk, but I'll take it.
It's all I could find in such short notice, okay?
Hey, I said I'll take it.
Yeah, right?
I need to come up with a like unique name for I need to come up with like a more on-brand name for my channel points other than just Zenny. Because like that is very specifically tied to Mega Man Legends, and I don't stream it much because like I love Mega Man Legends, I love playing it, but I can't help but get a little depressed when getting into Mega Man Legends, knowing that's never going to get a finale.
I know. Yeah.
But like one that I was thinking of, which, you know, me stealing from Vincent Pizza Pasta, perish the thought. At one point he mentioned that he was, like years ago, he mentioned he thought he was thinking of changing the name of channel points on his stream to brain cells. So it's like you gain and lose brain cells.
Honestly, I can see that for this channel, just for the fact is that you and I are always joking around how we're losing brain cells, or we're sharing the one brain cell.
Yeah.
The
The door that wakes in darkness, opening into nightmares. Anyway, losing brain cells, yes.
Yes. I love how it's just like a perfect segue back into that. Hey, get your ass back here.
Or just run out of the store, that's fine too. And stay out!
Oh. Yeah, right? How rude. You're not supposed to fight back.
Face the music, find the melody of your dreams, and kick up your heels. Gee, I wonder if that's foreshadowing. It's foreshadowing that we're going to have an epic guitar duel with the devil. There's also the fact that Zenny is the same name, is also the name of the currency in Monster Hunter. Yeah, it is an actual old-timey Japanese currency from, like, feudal Japan. And Capcom uses it as, like, a catch-all term for currency in a lot of their games. Mainly in Mega Man and in Monster Hunter.
Oh, okay. Like,
the first time it was used in a Capcom game was in the NES game Wily and Dr. Light Rock Board, Now That's Paradise, which was never released outside of outside Japan, but has a fan translation, so you can play it. It's basically like a board game with Mega Man characters.
Like, I'm thinking for my channel, for whenever the hell I actually get up to the point of becoming affiliate, whenever I actually start streaming on the Lord Megatron account.
Yeah.
I think for my channel points, I'll probably just put it as like Imperial Shanix or Imperial Credits or whatever. I don't know.
Credits
Either
would
Shanix
probably be a bit easier to understand the reference to.
Yeah.
Because, like, Shanix is a really specific thing from Transformers.
Yeah. And you can just say it's credits anyway, so it's like,
yeah,
you know.
There's the second half of the record, and we got some vinyl glue. So here's our tutorial on how we can combine key items to make new items.
Nice.
And there we go, we got a fixed record. I'm pretty sure that's not how you fix a record, but it'll work.
Yeah, right. Honestly,
pretty sure that still wouldn't play.
Yeah, no, but I wonder what's on the the Long Way Home. That's what it's called. I was going to say
Long Way Home.
I was thinking like
also known as the I-95.
We'll play. I was thinking like, oh yeah, we'll play some Instruments of Destruction.
You joke about that, but I regularly play the '86 movie soundtrack while I'm driving. It's good. It's good, like, driving music to just keep you pumped up and focused. It's also good workout music.
Yeah, that is true too. I will agree with you on that.
Like, any album that has both The Touch and Dare on it is going to be good for a workout playlist.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Oh, and Nothing's Gonna Stand in Our Way, of course.
Oh, definitely. I remember when I was hiking in Springfield, actually, on the Lincoln Trail when I was a kid. I actually played that song on my MP3 player while I was hiking the final, I think it was like the final couple of miles that we were hiking. It was like I think it was like a 10 to 20 mile hike. So it was like, it was exhausting, but it was fun. But I just had my MP3 player on me and started listening to Nothing's Gonna Stand in Our Way, like, on repeat while hiking.
That whole album is just constant bangers. Even the instrumental tracks.
Yes.
Like, even the more low tempo or down tempo or, like, you know, low key tracks like Death of Optimus Prime are still amazing. Vince DiCola is a great composer who's really underrated.
Yeah, surprisingly enough, like when, and I don't mean to sound like, you know, I don't mean to get like very depressing here, but when the first time I thought Gizmo was gonna pass away, all those years ago, when No, actually, I take it back. It wasn't Gizmo. It was actually my previous dog, Binks. Now I remember. Binks was just kind of like curled up in his favorite chair. It was just like he was not doing well. I could tell he was nearing his end. So for some calming music, I played the Death of Optimus Prime, and I was just like, I don't. So I wonder, like, sometimes that song kind of gets me like into the emotional state, but then again, I'm like, yeah, it's a good song, but I, for whatever reason, just keep, akinning it to the death of my, one of my dogs. But
anyway,
yeah,
I got a trophy for bashing that thing's lack of a face in.
I saw that, which is funny. Also, BRB, gotta grab something.
All right. Is there anything of use?
I still hear everything.
Can I open the fridge? Get some leftovers. Nope. Can I raid the bar? Oh, he's looking at something. Health drink. There we go. Need one of those. So I could immediately use it. Yeah, your health goes down fast in this game. Your health goes down real quick in this game. Which is something that I've got to get used to. Well, you'll get it back a few hours later.
I do love that whole bit with the whole, like, I don't know why, but the joke of the whole, oh, kid, I needed that! It's like one of the few things that still is funny to this day from Transformers Prime.
Yeah. Like, Prime, as much as people want to say Transformers Prime was, like, a really dark series, it did have great humor in it.
Yeah. It wasn't, like, very dark. It had its share of darkness, but at the same time, it was like the only casualties we had were really the cons.
Yeah. And even then, it was mostly just the Viacons.
Yeah, mostly the Viacons, because, they had to have, I don't like,
they had to have their generic foot soldiers that could get blown up by the dozens. Or Steve.
Right. Yep. Or, poor Gary.
I don't know whether you're talking about a Viacon or whether you're talking about Gary Chalk.
No, I'm talking about a Viacon.
Oh.
Like, it's a joke with Emgo. It's an old joke from Emgo. Whenever he would talk about any of the Viacons, he would just say, "Oh, this guy's Gary." So his own personal Viacon is called Gary.
Ah, I see," said the blind man to his death. Hold on. Gotta stomp the life out of this thing. There we go. "I see," said the blind man to his deaf wife.
Can you call that life?
Not anymore. I said wife.
No, I'm talking about you had to stomp the life out of this thing, and I'm thinking, like, you call it life?
Is it alive anymore?
Oh, not anymore, obviously.
There's a burger there. Feel the craving? You just can't help it? Go for it. Happy Burger. What you need is what you get. On the run, grab something to go. I would not trust that burger.
Nope.
Could go for a burger now, but I'm out of burger meat. Had to throw out the last of the meat because it was starting to expire.
Oh. Let's see.
By the way, a mechanic in Silent Hill as a franchise that I haven't gotten to explain to you is, that ties into the series' like really good sound design, is there's a reason we picked up a radio at the beginning of the game. The static from the radio indicates when enemies are nearby.
Oh, okay.
Pro Silent Hill players are looking at this and being like, he's fucking up everything.
Yeah, well, fuck you people too.
Meanwhile, I'm like, hey, if I don't get the fuck, I'm at least gonna fuck up.
Hey, we're Castle Orlok. We fuck shit up.
Hi, didn't know that syringe was there before.
Oh,
I keep discovering new things every time I play this, which, you know, is a good thing.
yeah. Of course.
Hello, I saw Sonic 3 today. So did I, Shadow Dragon. We're not going into spoilers, but I very much enjoyed it, and everyone should see it.
Definitely.
And stay
I saw it yesterday.
stay until the very end, because there's 2 post-credit scenes.
Yep. Excuse me. The fuck you looking at?
I can't hear the fuck you looking at without, thinking of that meme where it's like one of the early forms of Shin Godzilla looking straight at the camera, and it says, the fuck you looking
Yeah,
at,
right.
keep scrolling.
Yeah, right. I'm like, the fuck you looking at? Be like, I just look at that thing and be like, the fuck you looking at? Keep walking. How rude.
I have not even been over to this area before. This is interesting. They can be killed, just make sure they stay down. By the way, you can be attacked while you're reading notes. So you gotta be aware of your surroundings, like I am very much not.
Yep. This is why if you were ever to go into Silent Hill, Ari, you don't go alone. You got me to back you up.
What do you think is in that syringe that heals him so well? My answer is it's filled with science. Inject that man with some sweet, delicious science.
It's a wonder drug.
This place, all it's ever brought me, is pain and misery.
Because happiness is always so much more enjoyable.
When it's based on the misery of millions. I'm kind of mixed about it, although I think part of the reason is just because I'm not a big fan of Sega's recent practices, considering a subscription and listing classics like the Sega Genesis collection. Yeah, I mean, I don't like a lot of Sega's business practices when it comes to their games, but like, to me, that doesn't impact my enjoyment of a movie that they didn't directly make themselves.
Right.
It's not a case of, like, you know, having someone really problematic involved. And, like, I can accept that the movies take a lot of creative liberties with, like, how things work and play out in the games, because they're, you know, they're doing their own thing, not trying to be one-to-one to the games, which, you know, if a movie were to try and be one-to-one to the games, it would be a nightmare. It would be a nightmare, and it would not resonate with the normies in the audience.
Nope.
Like, there are some things about the movie that I'm not too crazy on, but I still rate it as, like, I rate it as the best of the trilogy so far. You know, hoping to see what they do in Sonic 4. Fuck the normies, TBH. See, the problem is when you're talking a Hollywood production, from a financial standpoint, you can't just make a movie for fans. You have to make something that appeals to people that are not necessarily familiar with the original property.
Right.
Because you can only rely on ticket sales from diehard fans to a certain degree. Before, like, unless it's, a universally known property like, say, a Star Wars or a Harry Potter. Well, not even a Harry Potter anymore, given how Fantastic Beasts has continued to spiral into a series of flops. But, basically, especially when it comes to adaptations of video games, you can't just rely on the hardcore fans to fill seats. Because, from a business perspective, you want to cast the widest net possible.
Right.
And I will say, Sonic 3 is the most Sonic-like of the movies we've gotten so far. To me, it felt less like a standard kids action movie with Sonic characters in it, and more like a reimagining of Sonic Adventure 2. How is this game compared to the OG Silent Hill 2? I'm kind of playing them back to back in my own time, so I can appreciate any changes, differences, improvements that were made, see, if there are things I like better in one version over the other. This one's definitely a lot more slower paced. This whole section we're in right here is something that leads up to getting into the apartments, which is, one of the first things you do in the original from what I've seen. So, they definitely draw things out a bit more, but it doesn't necessarily feel padded. It's not like a, Resident Evil 3 remake problem, where they took a game that was already short, and that they didn't have much to build off of, and then stretched out certain parts of it to the point that they felt tedious. Resident Evil 3 Remake is a game that I think is very fundamentally flawed from its pacing and a lot of things. Also, one of the neat things here, this receipt for various drugs in the pharmacy. These, if you look up what the drugs are, they are for anxiety, depression, and paranoia. Just a neat bit of flavor text that they flew in.
I'm not paranoid, you're paranoid.
Also, without getting into, discussions of, how movies should be made when we live under a capitalistic hellscape, I did get, some first-hand accounts of, how shittily Sega has handled Shadow as a character up until this specific year.
Yeah.
Because, I was sat next to a bunch of little kids that were obviously not familiar with the more classic Sonic games, or were only familiar with stuff from the past few years. Mainly the movies, probably. And, hello, Alessa Gillespie. Welcome.
Welcome.
I love that. I love that emote. It's so cute.
Yes, very cute.
But yeah, I heard the kid next to me say, Shadow the Hedgehog is the worst character in the whole Sonic franchise. And, kid that was, fucking 5-6 years old. They're not they're gonna know the storied history of everyone's favorite Edgy the Hedgy. And, how, all the stuff about mandates keeping him from being written the way they should for the past decade, and change in writers, change in company philosophy, all that stuff. But I still felt like saying, listen here, you little shit.
Yeah, I would have totally been like that had I been there. I would have been the one to say, listen here, you little shit. But, again.
And then I would have gotten thrown out of the theater.
Yeah, I would have gotten thrown out of the theater. You wouldn't have. You would have just pretended you didn't know me.
Like a Warcraft movie, for example, can appeal to fans of fantasy fiction in general, as long as it still appeals to hardcore Warcraft fans as well. You've still got a positive reputation that can push sales even further. Yeah, and that's what I believe they were trying to do with Sonic 3. It's definitely more heavy on very specific game callbacks and references, as opposed to Sonic 1 and 2. But it still has some elements in there that are clearly there to, like, not scare off the more casual family movie audience. Like, I've come to accept that we're not going to get, like, you know, an ideal perfect Sonic movie
Right.
in the Hollywood system. But
Definitely
what we're getting, especially by Hollywood video game movie standards, given, you know, the tumultuous history of that entire genre of adaptations, has been spectacular. I actually like, here's my hot take. I like the Sonic movies more than I like the Illumination Mario movie, because I feel like Illumination's Mario, while it's a fine enough movie on its own, it plays everything too safe.
Yeah,
It doesn't take
it's
really
okay.
any. It's good by it's stellar by Illumination standards, which are admittedly rock bottom. But
Yeah.
it's the most safe family movie I have seen in a long time. And you can tell that
Yeah.
Nintendo had an iron grip on the whole production.
Right. No deviations whatsoever. Or, like, very few deviations, if any.
Meanwhile, I'm like, trust the fungus. The 93 movie is superior. Y'all just weren't ready for it. Y'all just weren't. You went in and got disappointed that wasn't a good Mario movie in an era where Mario games didn't really have stories. And overlooked the fact that it's one of the best kid-friendly cyberpunk movies ever made. And it's arguable whether it's kid-friendly, given the amount of strippers in it.
Right. Personally, I think my whole thought process is this: it's a good movie if it's not a Mario movie. It's like it's not good for like a Mario movie standpoint, but being a movie in general, it was still pretty good.
I definitely wouldn't call it, like, you know, one of the worst movies ever made. I think that's over.
Definitely not.
There are much
Yeah.
worse movies before and after that came out.
Oh hell yeah, The Room comes to mind.
Okay, The Room, though, is a masterpiece. It's a masterpiece
A
of shit, but it's still a masterpiece.
Yes, okay, I'll give it that. I'll agree with you on that.
There is no other movie like it, no matter how hard Tommy Wiseau tries to make something like it. That it's the kind of thing that can only come from a special mix of ineptitude and unchecked ego. And limitless funds.
Yes. Let's see.
Reach
Reach
into the stank hole, James.
Ooh.
Get that good squelch. 2. That's the button we needed.
Nice. Gotta see if there's anything I have.
Yeah, I'd argue that Illumination's Mario movie is a good adaptation of the Mario IP, but so sterilized and afraid to do anything new and risky.
Yeah. Right.
That I feel like it's a movie you can easily skip and not really miss out on much.
Yeah.
Whereas
that's the thing. Like,
the 93 Mario movie is one of a kind.
Yeah. Like I saw the Illumination Mario movie after it came out on DVD and Blu-ray, just to shut a certain rodent up about how good it was and how much of the hate that I was giving it was overblown.
And he was correct. For once.
Partially correct. He was partially correct.
Partially correct. The second best kind of correct.
Yes. I will not give him the satisfaction of being fully correct.
Or even technically correct, which is the best kind of correct.
Yes. I will never give him the satisfaction of even being technically correct. he was partially correct because the reason I hated the movie was for the fact that they didn't have the voice actor Charles Martinet voice Mario.
It makes a bit more sense when you find out that like they were getting ready to replace him as Mario in the games anyway. Like obviously part of that is, Illumination's history of celebrity stunt casting, but also, Nintendo downplaying Charles Martinet as Mario to transition over to his current voice actor. So he at least got to give a farewell to the Mario franchise by playing Mario's father.
I didn't realize that was his father. I thought he was the.
He plays, he plays the guy that has the stereotypical Mario voice that in the arcade game scene, but he also plays Mario and Luigi's dad.
That I did not realize.
Yeah.
I mean, I've met Charles Martinet, and he's awesome, but he is definitely getting up there. You can tell he still tries to have the same energy that he once did, but it is clear just by, if you actually interact with the poor man, he is definitely starting to lose steam, and he is.
Yeah, he deserves a nice retirement from his most iconic role.
Exactly, and that's the thing. Even people were saying how, to tie this back to Transformers, for instance, TJ Omega was actually arguing, saying how. Because people were upset that Peter Cullen was not brought on to voice Optimus Prime, they got upset, and he's like, "Well, look, it's a disgrace. It's basically they're basically it's a disrespect to Peter Cullen. To the fact is that the man is getting up there, and it's also a disrespect to future potential voice actors." To eventually
I have to agree with that. I don't like this whole mentality of only one person is ever allowed to voice an iconic character.
Exactly. My opinion is this. There can be other voice actors who can do a better job or a even more iconic job for a character to a new generation. It's just a case where it's you have to.
Yeah, Gary Chalk proved that in 1996.
Hell yeah. I mean, I like his Optimus voice. I mean, granted, these days I don't see it as Optimus Prime because I've been so fucking indoctrinated into Peter Cullen. But still, I give Chuck the respect that he deserves. He was my Optimus Prime growing up.
Yeah, he was my Optimus Prime too.
Yeah.
Him and Neil Kaplan.
Yes. Neil
Anyways, time for flashback.
Of
our rare this is a whole sequence that's new to the remake from what I've seen. Because this whole jukebox puzzle is not in the original.
Yeah.
But yeah, a little rare glimpse at what Silent Hill looked like in the past.
We spent the whole day there. Just the two of us staring at the water.
Just the two of us.
I told you that that repair job was shit.
Yep. Nope, you were right.
Well, look at now. Look at how much glue you're gonna need to fix that.
Fuck that shit.
Don't fuck that shit. You'll get an infection.
What the fuck is? Oh, it's a key.
Yeah, it's a key. All that to get a key to this door.
Oh.
Welcome to Silent Hill puzzles.
Yeah, right. I'll be right back.
Yes, that was adorable. All right, what can I bogart from this area? Need to stock up on healing supplies. See, what do we got here? He came back after you left. It's fine, he didn't try anything, he just seemed sad. Mumbled something about getting out of town with someone. I wasn't gonna let him drive in his condition, so I locked him out. His car should be out back. Maybe check if it's still there by morning. It's the greenish-blue one. Plate number ending with 06, I think. Aha, so there we go, marking the map again, while JKR's not here to see it. Every time. I was gonna say, I'm glad you're here, Cobalt Rogue, because I always enjoy your timely puns based on what we see in these games. Although I do have to say, if you were to go to this incarnation of Silent Hill, the damnation and torment you would face would be like physical manifestations of all of the horrible puns that you subjected me and my chat to. And as a result, it would be a very cruel and unusual punishment. I'll be here all night.
I heard, as soon as I walked away, I heard the whole, that was adorable. I was like, immediately I wanted to say, it's like, stink! But I couldn't, because one, I was too far away, and two, even if I wasn't too far away, my mic was muted.
Ah. Have you tried unmuting your mic?
Well, it is unmuted now.
Did you try unmuting it in the past?
Well, okay, here's the thing. I don't think you would have wanted me to unmute it in the past.
I'm not gonna ask for elaboration on that.
Good, because you shouldn't.
Alright, we're looking for a greenish-blue car with a license plate ending in 06.
Oh, that's not greenish-blue either. So, wait, colorblind, Ari?
It depends on what their definition of greenish-blue is. This is green. This is green.
Well, I saw a 6 at the end, but what was the other?
But that was a 2-6.
Oh, 2-6, okay. How about this?
Like this one's green. This one ends at 2-0.
Yeah.
Why don't I just look at my map? Ah, yes, there's something this away. Because he wrote a question mark on there.
Oh, now the ad break actually hits after like a minute of being silent.
There we go. Here's the car we're looking for.
Yeah, that fits the description.
And there's the remains of the guy who was locked out of his car.
Well, shit.
He's been pulped.
Well, sucks to be him.
Either that or he got raptured in a very bloody fashion. Oh no, the fog's getting heavier. Ah, shit.
Question for you, Ari. Do you want to add Cobalt to the call, or would you rather just let him stay
If
in
he's
chat?
up for it, then sure. I don't want to impose on him.
No. I get you.
If he's up for it, then sure, he can join.
Yeah. I don't know if he's, I don't know if he can hear us right now because the ad break in progress. And I don't know if he's subscribed.
He's not subscribed because he doesn't get to tune in very often.
I see. And I will pop the question to him in chat.
Ad break isn't playing on his end. Oh, I see.
Oh,
you got the
okay.
you got the rare good ad blocker, I guess. That actually works on Twitch. Either that or you just got a really short ad break.
Yeah, either or. It works. But how much of that did you hear, Cobalt?
Stomp, stompy, stomp. Yeah, it's like we're a overrated New York residency. We're stomp. Spill the beans over an honest cup of coffee. Enjoy the moment. Enjoy the memories. I feel like this is leading to something.
As someone who's addicted to coffee, Ari, how does that make you feel?
Well, in my neck of the woods, in my neck of the woods, we have a colloquial term for it. You know, similar to how the Albanians from Albany refer to hamburgers as steamed hams. People in my neck of the woods refer to coffee as steamed beans.
Yeah, well, I've been to your neck of the woods, and I never heard anybody use the phrase steamed beans.
Oh, no, not in this town, no. It's a Huntersville expression.
I see.
But yes, Cobalt said he heard all of it. So, yeah, Cobalt, if you have the means to and are up for joining the call, then JKR can add you, and you can join in on commentating on Silent Hill 2. Ah! Okay, that actually spooked me.
Oh, shit.
Get back here, you!
Spooks you, though.
How dare you vomit in my face like that? He gladly accepts.
Okay. I will add you. First, I gotta friend you.
I bequeath to this monstrosity a boot to the head.
Yeah, right. Okay. Take your time. I'll add you to the call and give.
Take your time. We're gonna be here for a bit.
Yep.
I believe this is where we need to be. Let me check this first. Okay, do I go back to the cafe? Hello, Cobalt Rogue.
Welcome, Cobalt Rogue.
Hello there.
Hello there.
General Kenobi.
General Kenobi.
You are
my favorite part of hearing behind the scenes audio of General Grievous's voice actor without the voice modulation is finding out that, oh, to do a good General Grievous impression, all you need to do is do everyone's bad impression of General Grievous and then pitch shift it and modulate the fuck out of it.
Yeah. Pretty much, yeah.
It's like how everyone tries to do an impression of Darth Vader when it turns out that, like, they added filters and pitch shifted James Earl Jones's voice to make it that deep.
I mean, in hindsight, yeah, of course. It's kind of obvious when you try to do the impression, at least in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this puzzle right here was originally placed in a different part of the apartment complex from what I've seen. It's going to be our main puzzle for these apartments for a while. But first we gotta raid the cabinets like we're a raccoon.
Like a raccoon, you say?
Yes, almost like we're playing, almost like we should be playing Sly Cooper.
I was just gonna say, if that's the case, then does that make you?
I'm the trash man.
I throw trash all over the ring. Then I start eating garbage. Dear Madam, in response to your complaint regarding the quote-unquote gunshots coming from apartment 217, we have paid a visit to the tenant and he assured us that he does not own any firearms. He was fully cooperative and granted us access to the apartment. True to his words, we did not find any weapons or traces of using one. Should the noises persist, please inform the janitor. Sincerely, Woodside Apartments Administration. Ah, yes, they just took him as word. He's totally not hiding guns.
Are you username Lazeman217?
What was that about?
It's from the first.
just
It's from the
conduct
2007 Transformers movie. That was the username that Shia LaBeouf's character used on eBay.
It's been so long since I've last seen Transformers 07.
That's fair.
Same.
It's just
They're
like
all on Netflix, and they're all getting ready to leave Netflix.
the messed up part is that line just lives rent free in my head, merely because it's been memed to death over the years.
No, the one that lives rent-free in my head is not from the 07 movie. It's from Revenge of the Fallen. It's, of course, Optimus Prime in his overly brutal finishing blow to the Fallen, saying, "Give me your face."
Yep.
Ah, yeah, the one that lives rent free in my head.
That's the mannequins I was talking about. These fuckers. These fuckers.
And despite being mannequins, they sure bleed.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they're called mannequins. I know that much. Just because of their design. My question is, how do they eat and how do they go to the bathroom? Is it like a cat-dog situation where you're just not supposed to think about it?
I
honestly don't care to think about it.
They do it.
You don't
very
care to
carefully.
think about the biological functions of any of the Silent Hill monstrosities?
Here's the thing, Ari. They do it very carefully.
Yes.
That seems like a pretty quick one-way ticket to losing your mind, Phil.
Okay, but you've also seen how many people are horny for Pyramid Head, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, I wasn't really thinking of that in relation to...
Because this is the Pyramid Head game.
Now, in relation to other functions besides, you know...
I mean, some people are into some extreme stuff. We don't kink shame unless your kink is degradation and humiliation, in which case you should absolutely be ashamed, you dirty, dirty boy and or girl.
Sometimes the low-hanging fruit still tastes quite sweet. I don't know.
Yep. Because it takes the least amount of effort to harvest it.
Start on this.
So, yeah, if you're looking to play the original Silent Hill 2, PC version is probably the easiest to go for. If you, like, I'll link you to the Internet Archive upload that I had of it with a repack, so it's, you know, all set up for easy installation. And then I'll link you to the Enhanced Edition project page, so you can download the latest version and set it up. They also have a good, like, beginner's tips video that taught me a lot of stuff about getting started in Silent Hill 2. Like, getting a grip on the way it does its mechanics and design.
Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Holy shit. Thank you.
Just PC, or is it Steam also? The original Silent Hill 2 never got a Steam release. It was on GOG until the remake came out, because that is how Konami do.
Yep.
But since it's abandonware, you can find it on all sorts of abandonware sites or just the Internet Archive.
Yeah, like, we established earlier that Konami don't give a fuck about abandonware for some reason.
Yeah, they don't bother to try and take down abandonware of their old, no longer available games, unless it's PT in particular.
fucking PT. But in the damn feud with Kojima.
Yeah.
Sure, fine, preserve our art, except for this one thing that's still inspiring horror games, just like the other Silent Hill games.
Yeah, I would very much argue, even though Capcom will never admit it, that you can see a direct line from the rave reviews of PT and the hype for Silent Hills and the backlash from its cancellation to the design of Resident Evil 7.
And by extension, 8. The only other
8, I would argue, leans a little bit more into Resident Evil 4 than anything else. Like, if you think about its whole opening sequence is basically beat for beat the opening of Resident Evil 4.
Oh yeah, definitely. No arguing against that. But it's still first person. That's...
Yeah. I mean more so, like, creepy rundown building setting. First person view is part of it. Focus on making you mostly defenseless against the monstrosities approaching you, whereas in Village you very much become overpowered very quickly.
Even then, it's still Resident Evil, so you're not, like, totally defenseless.
Yeah.
You still get the pew-pews.
Yeah. I've come to appreciate old school Resident Evil over the recent years. Just, like, getting to grips with its tank controls, mostly. Because unlike a lot of tank control games of that era, the environments are designed around the fact that you're limited to tank controls. What do I think of the recently announced Okami 2 and new Onimusha? I'm excited for both, especially for Okami 2, because I wasn't aware that Hideki Kamiya had left Platinum earlier this year and founded his own new studio that's basically Clover 2.0. Or 3.0 when you think about it, because Platinum was the 2.0. He's even named it Clovers.
The cheeky motherfucker.
He is known to be a troll.
And to block everyone on Twitter.
Yeah, to the point where, when they were doing a Kickstarter for being able to self-publish some of their games? Like, part of it was crowdfunding. They did a Kickstarter to self-publish the remaster of The Wonderful 101.
Oh yeah, I remember.
One of the reward tiers was to get publicly blocked by Hideki Kamiya on Twitter. That's how in on the joke he is.
Oh, jeez.
Damn cockroaches.
If you kill one, there's usually like 100 more you don't see.
Yeah, that's why I was a little perturbed when I was leaving a restaurant the other day. I saw cockroach climbing up the windowsill as I was exiting from the outside, I should say. Not on the inside.
Well, still, the fact that you saw a cockroach in a restaurant in general does not bode well for that restaurant.
Yeah, but it was a Golden Corral. It's not like it's known for its quality.
Oh. And here I thought it was...
Tell me what you really think.
You don't go to Golden Corral for high-quality food. You go there to pay a flat fee to get whatever you want and however much of it you want. It's like how you don't go to Little Caesars when you're craving good pizza. You go to Little Caesars when you want pizza for $5. Or to put it in a less specific context, you don't go to McDonald's because you're craving, high quality steamed hams. You go there because you're hungry and you don't feel like cooking and you're probably driving somewhere already.
Okay. Back online.
You cut out for a second?
we were cutting out for like a couple of like about a minute.
I didn't know that.
I was about to say.
I think that might be JKR. You were the one who started the call, so it might be like a hosting issue.
Yeah, I think so. Because I had it set for like whatever it was, like automatic or whatever. So I set it to US Central, and that seemed to fix the problem.
Okay.
Yeah, no, Shadow Dragon. It was just the call problem, not the.
Yeah, it was just the call,
stream
not the
itself.
stream.
Yeah.
Because I would have noticed if the stream was offline. I think.
Yeah,
I usually don't notice. I usually don't notice when the stream's offline until I realize that, oh, I'm talking to no one.
Yeah.
Again.
No, but
and not on and not like absent-mindedly this time.
Yeah. No.
Not out of loneliness
I knew it
this
was-
time, but out of like, oh, the internet died. Thank you, Spectrum.
Yeah, no, I double checked to make sure it was me and not Spectrum. So I actually hopped over to the stream video just to see is it coming in clearly there, and it was coming in clear there. So I realized, okay, it's the call, not the stream.
But yeah, how you been, Cobalt Rogue? It's been a while since we've like had a proper chat with each other.
I mean, yeah, it kind of usually is.
Yeah, we usually don't get to talk to each other very much.
Indeed.
I ask because my dad is constantly asking me how you're doing, and I'm like, I hear from him sometimes. I'm not always, always in touch with everyone at all times.
Yeah.
People got their own things going on. They're not always online.
I guess it makes sense for him to ask, family connections, whatnot.
Yeah, especially since, you're on his side of the family.
Where's this? I see.
That's funny, Cobalt. We were actually, when I was visiting Ari last weekend, I was actually asking about you just because I didn't realize where you lived. I literally thought you lived in Ari State, but I'm assuming you don't.
Nah, that's a lot of the family does now, but he does not.
Yeah.
Yeah, nope.
Yeah, I don't even know if you're all that active on Facebook anymore because, Facebook's algorithm, kind of buries a lot of the posts that my friends make.
I just don't even use Facebook anymore. The only reason my account is still active is because it's a requirement for using my MetaQuest 2 headset.
Yeah.
Man, I just want to use Messenger, but, the only app Facebook will let you use for it is their official stuff.
Yeah.
Which means Messenger, which takes up too much gosh darn space for its own good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I get you.
The only reason I still have Messenger is because, a specific rodent I know does not want to switch over to any other platform. So I'm kind of stuck with it.
Meanwhile, I'm like, everyone should join Blue Sky except for the people that don't belong on Blue Sky. You can stay on Twitter.
Precisely.
My favorite thing about seeing the influx of new users to Blue Sky is seeing the Twitter addicted folks being like, oh, Blue Sky sucks because I went on there, posted stuff trying to start an argument, posted hateful stuff trying to start a flame war, and I got blocked and my account got banned. So much for free speech. It's like, no, you got banned because you went on there you made an account just to try and start shit.
Yeah, no, there's a difference between trolling for the hell of it and trolling because you're an asshole.
Meanwhile, I do both.
The line, at least, is pretty thin.
Yeah.
The line is pretty thin.
Yep.
It all depends on what the intentions behind it are. And the intentions are very hard to find out in some cases because, people can just say one thing and not mean it.
Right.
Yep, that's kind of how saying words works.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is, one thing I've learned...
That's indeed how these human beings work.
Yeah, Yeah, but one thing I learned in school, like when I was taking the GED years ago, one thing we always talked about back then was like yelling fire in, like, take for example, you're in a movie
yelling fire in a crowded theater.
Fire. Yeah, exactly. That's like, and there's no fire whatsoever.
Hold on, we got some classical music. You're the nerd about this.
I don't even recognize this. I'm sorry.
I don't know if it's a real piece of classical music or not. I wanted to see.
Yeah, my late father would have probably recognized it or not, but he's no longer with us, so you can't ask him.
We could always break out the Ouija board that I don't have.
Yeah, no, I ain't touching a Ouija board.
No, Ouija board. Ouija board. The Ouija board is something you don't want to fuck with.
What's the difference between a Ouija board and a Ouija board?
It is pronounced Ouija because it's supposed to be an amalgamation of the French word oui and the German word ja. But somehow the English language has mutated it into Ouija for a common pronunciation.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Thank you.
We'll put it up on the fridge.
But yeah.
Somebody get me a hacksaw so I can carve out this section of drywall.
I'd use my explosive sound effect, but I don't have my Nitro subscription anymore. I canceled that because I was short on cash.
I showed you where to get it for cheap.
No, I know, and I just need to make sure that when I have some money to do so, I will start stacking those.
Yeah, there you go. You just buy it from a gray market key reseller and cheat the system.
Exactly, which I have every intention of doing so. It's just a case where I want to make sure I have enough money to get a decent amount for a couple months, so that way I can not have to worry about it for a few months.
And don't be like me and accidentally redeem it when you're logged into the wrong account.
Oh boy.
I've done that before.
Really?
Yeah, I have a separate account for very spicy role plays. And it was tied to that one, even though I don't do voice chat on there, because like I'm very private on that account about my personal life, and as part of it, like I've unintentionally gaslit those people into thinking I'm a woman. Because they see like, oh, you're playing a female character, that must mean you're a lady. And I'm like, you're half right. You're half right. I am gender fluid, so you're half right.
Yeah, right?
Partially correct.
The second best kind of correct.
Yes.
Yep.
Precisely.
Really?
Precisely! As Mike Pollock said in Ratatouille.
Oh, God. Ratatouille. I hate that that's a thing.
Do you not know about Ratatouille?
No, I know what Ratatouille is. I just hate that thing.
My favorite thing is that thing is very much plagiarism of Ratatouille, and yet they'll still copyright claim you if you upload it.
Oh, jeez.
Even though the company's defunct. So it's like, who is the ad revenue going to?
I wonder if it's a case where like another company bought them out or whatever.
No, usually what it is they like hire another firm to do the copyright claims for them.
Oh.
But yeah, they went defunct partly due to their mockbusters of Disney, Pixar, and DreamWorks films. They also did not one, but two Transformers knockoffs called Gladiformers.
I've never heard of that. Like, seriously,
it's like what it. I think you in particular would like it because it's just a series of gladiator matches.
No, me. I
And
am
apparent-
one for. I am one for needless blood sport.
And they keep you know how like in more recent Transformers stuff when instead of saying oh my god they'll say like buy the Allspark or something like that.
Yeah.
In this one they say buy the God bots.
Also, excuse me if I sound up far away from my mic. It's that I'm actually walking around doing some stuff in here.
Okay.
Just kind of. I had to stand up. I couldn't sit still for very long.
Yeah, I'm going to paraphrase a thing from the late great movie critic Emmer Provost. If there are God bots, then I'm a robot atheist. So, Cobalt, have you seen the latest Senran Kagura anime yet? Shinobi Master?
This is the first I've been made aware of a new Senran Kagura anime.
It came out a couple years ago, and it even got an English dub courtesy of Funimation. And unlike the first Senran Kagura anime, it's like a compressed adaptation of the later games, as well as some new story material. So you get like the new Hebijo Elite, so that means that my waifu for lifeu Murasaki finally has an English dub voice. But that also means the Gessen girls have voice actors now in English. I haven't heard the Gessen squad yet, but I've heard the new Hebijo Elite. And I really like what they did with Murasaki. Have a good night, Shadow Dragon.
See you, Shadow
I like what they
Dragon.
did with Murasaki because they could have gone like, the cutesy, uwu soft girl voice that she had in Japanese and just do that in English. But instead, they looked at, okay, she's a gloomy goth girl who's like very reserved and quiet and just wants to be left alone. So let's go with like a deeper, more like gloomy, almost monotone-ish voice. That's also like very, very shaky to emphasize her nervousness and desire to please people and not cause trouble. It's an adorable voice. And she shares a voice actress with Senko the Helpful Fox, I believe the character's name is.
What's this new series called again?
Shinobi Master.
I see.
And it's available on Crunchyroll in both censored and uncensored forms, or you could be like me and just buy it on the Microsoft Store.
Yeah, I'd rather not give Microsoft my money if I can help it. Fuck Microsoft, honestly.
Yeah, don't fuck
Don't fuck-
Microsoft. That's how you get a virus.
They shoved 100 too many Windows updates up my ass.
Tell me about it.
Yeah.
Windows 11, more like... Fuck.
More like I'm downloading Linux.
Yeah, Windows 11, from my experience, it's okay. It's not the greatest, but it's a decent.
It's just it's an unnecessary overhaul from what I've seen because it's functionally almost identical to Windows 10.
Yeah,
Except
Which,
for the fact
makes
that,
it-
they screenshot everything, including like your social security number and whatnot.
Yeah. Thankfully, the people that built my desktop were smart and put in, like, when they were setting up the OS, they put in, like, a, like, administrator, like, one of those things for, like, if you're using a company PC. Oh my god, holy shit, I didn't know Pyramid Head was here. That genuinely caught me off guard. I've never seen that. Holy shit.
It doesn't happen every time.
no,
I'm also just not very perceptive about these things. Is he still there? Yeah, he's still there. Fight me, bruv. You what, mate? I'll bash your fucking head and I swear on me mum.
1v1 me IRL.
Fox only. No items. Not Final Destination because that's boring and overrated. Poke floats. There we go. A real man's melee stage.
I mean, you don't pick Final Destination because it's fun to, because like
you pick it if you're boring.
Yeah.
I was going to say like you pick it if you're a pro Smash player because it's flat terrain with no hiding spots and no gimmicks. But no, pro players play Smash in a boring way. So you pick it if you're boring.
Yeah.
I probably just pissed off the entire Smash community by saying that, and I don't care. I'm flipping you off I'm giving you the double deuce.
Too prideful to play on any stage but Final Destination. Too weak to do a quarter circle even in the shower. Even with the shower handle.
Due to the ongoing renovation works, tenants are asked to keep out the third floor of the building. Sincerely, Woodside Apartments Administration. Well, I guess the people that live on the third floor are just fucked then.
Yeah, move to a different level. They'll be fine.
This is just the shittiest about... Actually, no, this is your average American, like, suburban apartment landlord people.
Yeah. I mean, then again, I wouldn't know, because I've never had to pay rent.
I do. Or rather, my mom pays it for me through... because she is better at keeping track of the checks, but it comes from my disability payments.
Yeah, that's
honestly
fair.
Why would I want to piss money away on rent? I could, like, at least in theory, get some actual value from an investment in a house.
So you know what? You know how we saw that note that said, like, we found no evidence that the tenant in this room had a gun and no signs that they had been shooting anything? See all these fucking bullet holes?
I wouldn't know Silent Hill had a sense of humor if you hadn't showed me stuff besides the dog ending.
And they kept the dog ending in this, from what I've seen.
Oh no! But yeah,
of course they would. Why?
And you can even unlock a wearable dog.
Duty to
you can even unlock a wearable dog. You can wear a dog mask after you beat the game, I think.
I was like, sir, what exactly are these bullet
James
holes?
canonically has a persona.
What are these bullet holes in the wall? So bullet holes? Those aren't bullet holes. Those are ventilation. Yes. Okay.
It was getting a little stuffy in here, so I just drilled a whole bunch of holes everywhere. You know how, like, you poke some air holes in your Stouffer's TV dinner so you can ventilate it? I just did that.
Roll deception.
Nat 20. Yeah. Nat 20. Let's go.
Speaking of D&D stuff, I've been getting a little bit back into D&D through my therapy. Because my therapist has started using custom, tailored to each patient, D&D campaigns to help them with their recovery and their treatment.
Oh, nice.
We spent the whole time last time just doing character creation because I needed to create a character.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to it, especially because, like, the last time I played D&D was when 4th edition was the current meta, and everyone hated it.
Oh,
so we were playing off.
Shitting me.
So we were playing off.
I didn't get into it until the 5th edition era. Like,
Same
Like-
here.
before
Like, 4th
lockdown,
edition was
still.
the current thing at the time, and everyone hated 4th edition, which is why Pathfinder became a thing. But our DM didn't
Yeah.
want to use Pathfinder, so we were playing off modified 3rd edition rules to fit a Mass Effect setting.
Oh, jeez. I think.
Actually, I think someone made Mass Effect 5e for. I mean, obviously 5e.
This was like a decade ago.
Yeah. I know I've mentioned before in the chat Star Wars 5e and the campaign I've been playing with my community college's tabletop gaming club.
Yeah, and I still have those character sheets and dice that you gave me the last time we saw each other.
Oh. Oh.
Walk into your neighbor's place, see the dull expression on his face. You'd be doing him a favor if you brought him to me. He ain't using his brain, he's just watching TV.
Yeah, honestly, that's a good custom character sheet. I just don't think it can really be used for Roll20, which is almost exclusively how I play these days.
Yeah, my therapist is using D&D Beyond just because, you know, easier site integration. You know, one site to do everything. Even though she's not a fan of D&D Beyond as a website due to, like, some sort of controversies with its management or something.
Yeah. When it comes to my
I couldn't imagine what Wizards of the Coast, AI users and hirers of the Pinkertons would be controversial for.
Yeah, I don't see why that would be controversial. It's just overblown. Who hasn't been visited by the Pinkertons?
But, like, honestly, what I
know,
use,
right?
what my D&D group uses, we use D&D Beyond to, like, for our character sheets and our dice, but we use Owlbear to use for our maps.
Owlbear?
Yeah,
I don't think I've heard of that one.
Yeah, we discovered it a few years ago during lockdown. Hold on.
What am I holding on to?
I was stepping out of my room to throw some bags out the room.
That doesn't answer my question. What am I supposed to hold on to?
Hold on, and then hold on a second.
I can't hold on to time. Time doesn't work that way. It's not a physical object.
I mean, it could be. Anyway.
Time's just a conspiracy by the clock industry to sell more clocks.
Well, yes. There is a website that my group uses called Owlbear, and we stumbled across it during lockdown, actually. And we've been using it since, mainly because our group is actually spread out across the world. Like, half of us are in the US, the other half is in Europe. So, like, for instance,
That is unironically really cool.
Yeah, no, like one of our two players that are in Europe, one's in Northern Ireland and the other is in Germany.
Meanwhile, I've done back when I was still doing A Bridge Beyond Frontier, one of our primary voice actors was in Bulgaria. Which made it very difficult to schedule recording sessions with him.
Oh, jeez. Who was the Bulgarian voice actor?
I don't think you ever met him. That was Mari. Or Zero God of Sandwiches, as he's known. Or also, another name that he's known by is Boner Greymon.
I've heard the name Boner Greymon. I just don't remember who he voiced.
He voiced Nemon. Or Namon. I can't remember how it's pronounced.
Okay.
Yeah, he voiced Namon. He didn't really get a chance to voice much else. Because, you know, I just couldn't find any other characters that would, I thought fit his range. And also, I was terrible at casting at the time. I was doing the whole thing of, like, trying to cast every character in the series at the very beginning, even though little did I know we weren't going to make it past episode 7.
Right.
Like, I had casted all the way to, like, the Royal Knights arc. and had already casted someone to play the Royal Knights.
Oh, wow.
Both Dynasmon and Crusadermon. And I was going to play them up as like a Jesse and James Team Rocket type duo, except if they were actually effective. So Cassidy and Butch.
Yeah. Right.
Because, you know, if you've seen Digimon Frontier's Royal Knights arc, you know that the Royal Knights arc is just the same plot repeated for 12 episodes straight that always results in the heroes losing.
Yep.
I love Frontier, but by God, does it have a horrible pacing.
Yeah. Like, I remember I was even, you cast me as Mercurymon.
Yeah, I cast you as
I think it was like-
Mercurymon, even though we didn't really get to a proper introduction for him.
Yeah.
We were like one episode away from that.
Right. And I remember originally the idea was we were supposed to, you originally wanted Mercurymon to, like, basically
I originally wanted him to sound like Darren Norris, who voiced him in the dub.
Yeah. Right.
But your take of making him more Joker-like, due to, you know, the permanent red smile that he has on, you know, his mirror face, I thought it'd fit thematically, especially once we get to his beast form, which has giant smiling red lips on
yeah, exactly.
counts as its face.
Right. Like, if anything, this is just my personal opinion, we could have done it where it was, like, kind of similar to how we originally had Double written, well, you like, portrayed in the...
in that X4 fan dub that I never fucking made, that I had cast Cobalt Rogue here as Colonel.
Yeah. I forgot you were in on that Cobalt Rogue.
I forgot about that.
This was in 2017, I want to say.
Something around that point, yeah.
Yeah, it was 2017 because it was supposed to be like for the 30th anniversary of the Mega Man X series, and then I just didn't make it.
Oh no!
Because, you know,
remember, I think.
Because, you know, that's just how the autism and ADHD combo works. I make plans and I don't follow through on them because my attention is shifted elsewhere.
Wait, I had a plan? Oh yeah, I had a plan.
Yeah, but like...
I have a plan! Wait, what plan again?
Yeah, but like I remember what... like one thing I would think for Mercurymon is... As Mercurymon, he sounds almost like C-3PO. The way I kind of, you know, did the whole rookie hunter voice, and then when he goes into his, you know, beast form, he sounds like the Joker almost.
Okay.
That's just how I can kind of see it.
That's something that the dub did with the human and beast forms that I really like, is giving them distinctly different voices. Like, the beast forms sound a lot more, like, guttural, usually.
Yeah. Whereas Zephyrmon sounded a lot more sultry than...
Yes, Zephyrmon is just mommy. Sorry. Mommy. Sorry.
Mommy. Sorry. Mommy.
Which disappoints me that Zephyrmon's apparently more popular than Kazemon, even though Kazemon has the better design.
Yeah. Both are hot in their own, you know, just in their own different respects. But I still kind of like Kazemon a little bit better, just for the...
I like Kazemon better because... Like, she was one of my childhood crushes.
Yeah.
And also because, okay, Kazemon doesn't count as a furry because she's a fairy.
Yeah. Like, she didn't look like,
she looked very humanoid. She looked like a cyberpunk fairy.
Basically a girl with very skimpy looking outfit with butterfly wings.
And a visor covering her eyes.
Understandable then.
Yeah.
And and one of her primary attacks was hitting people with her ass to stun them with affection. And in the dub, they called it love tap.
Mm-hmm.
appealing to teenagers by coming up with a character concept with one hand.
Yeah. I mean, that's part of the appeal of Bayonetta, right? They designed it so if you play on the easiest difficulty, you can play it one-handed.
You can literally play it one-handed.
But I will argue that Bayonetta is an absolutely perfect fan service character because she's always in control of her sexuality and the way that she's presented. Rather than like, oh no, I am an unwilling fan service girl. I don't want to be sexualized. Like, no, she proudly embraces her sexuality, flaunts it, and never does it like specifically to impress anyone. She just does it because she likes it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she's gone on to inspire a few of my own OCs.
I wouldn't be surprised. I'm happy to find out she's a very popular character in the lesbian community. Which, you know, for obvious reasons, if you see any of her interactions with Jean.
Yeah.
And then Bayonetta 3 happened and people got pissed. Because apparently Bayonetta can't be bisexual, according to a lot of the Bayonetta fan base. She has to be straight or gay. And by that I mean she has to just be gay.
Funny thing is that whenever I decide to make an OC queer, I tend to just make them bi. Oh, this OC is slightly fruity. I diagnose you with bisexual.
I mean, that's the easiest one to do. Speaking as a bisexual person IRL.
Yeah.
The river flowed right, serene and so clean. The viper zigzagged left, so cruel and mean. And so right I went, my steps short and tense, into a darkness so deep and so dense. All these scribbles on the wall, you'd think that we were in Professor Gerald's prison cell.
Yeah, right.
This is also a neat puzzle because it requires you to actually look at the environment to find the combination.
Cool.
Beautiful.
Like, instead of, like, press this button to examine it, it's like, no, just move the camera. Like, right here, we got the river. 15. I saw the snake, somewhere. There's the snake. 11. And then the footsteps into darkness. Right here. 13. Just gotta look at the directions again. Right, left, and then right again. Gotcha. I hate these kind of locks.
You don't like combination locks?
No, I hated them. I always hated them.
That's fair. That's fair, because I always had trouble with them too. It was like every time I had to fucking memorize my combination, I could never remember it. And then, of course, when I try to do it, when I did remember the combination, it never unlocked.
I forgot what the last number was.
Whoops.
This is why you should have, like, a notepad. But that requires writing, and I hate writing. 13. There we go.
Remember combinations. My brother in the Force. I have ADHD.
Same here.
Yeah, that's why if you look at one of my travel bags, it has a combination lock permanently stuck to it because I don't know the combination to it anymore.
Yeah.
It's not like permanently stuck shut, it's just hanging off there.
Like for me, the combination locks that I tend to use are combination locks with like I've actually had these combination locks. Sometimes I use the ones with letters on them, but then there's a specific kind that's on the market these days where you can actually set the combination to something you yourself will remember. So
yeah, but
easily,
all the combination locks I have were ones that we had to buy through my school, and they were ones where you couldn't set your own custom combination, and the school had to have a record of what your combination was, but they wouldn't remind you what it was if you forgot what it was. My school was shit.
Yeah. Oh, dude.
And a lot of it makes more sense in hindsight the more I learn about its history. I won't go too much in.
Master brand lock, though. Is it a master lock?
Yes.
It should be somewhat decently easy to break open. Like, master lock are really cheap, and
yes, which is why they were the ones that the school had us buy through them. They wouldn't supply them to us. We had to pay them to get them.
Yeah, and you have to really go out of your way to find a lock that isn't as cheaply made as a master lock and can actually survive a lock-picking attempt. Although lock-picking isn't something you're as likely to find in America specifically as someone cutting open the lock in a more brute force way.
Yeah. Why lockpick when you can just use bolt cutters?
Funny story. When I worked at that grocery store years ago, like in 2017, 2018, I had to get one of the stupid key locks because I was horrible with combination locks, so I had to use like one of the tiny locks that they sold at the store. So I was like, okay, sure, I'll use that. Somehow I lost my keys and I couldn't I couldn't get my stuff out of there. So of course it's like my shift is starting. So of course my manager comes by and she's like, yeah, here, take these bolt cutters and try and get it out that way. I'm like, okay, I tried, couldn't cut through. So what I did end up doing was I had one of the stupid box cutter knives that they provided for the employees who were working in grocery. I don't know how I did this. Somehow I picked the lock to the point where the springs and mechanisms in the lock just happened to fall out the side of it. Very poorly designed padlock, but somehow it worked. My manager comes by and she's like, Did you get the lock off? Did the bolt cutters work? I'm like, yeah, I got it off, but the bolt cutters didn't work. And she's like, well, how did you get it off then? I was like, a simple solution. I picked the lock. And she was just like, okay.
That's just making me think of like something from the latest episode of Home for Infinite Losers, where like Raditz is picking a lock to get into like a top secret room. And Cell's like, you know how to lockpick? Yeah, I've been down here a long time by myself, so I learned how to do some things. So, like, did you start with baking first, or did you just go straight to lockpicking?
Oh, God.
Home for Infinite Losers is some of the best stuff that Team 4 Star's ever made. Helped by the fact that they're not limited by, pre-existing animation.
Yeah.
Like, they're free to do whatever they want for gags, and I love that. Also, apparently, some of the Team 4 Star members were in the English dub of the movie Train to Busan. So they've gotten to do some live-action dubbing now instead of just anime dubbing.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, in their latest video on, how I told you that the whole inspiration for us watching the Korean Dragon Ball movie was from that Team 4 Star video that they had just released the night before about it. They did the Taiwanese Dragon Ball movie this week. And they brought up, like, talking about live-action dubbing. Because the Taiwanese version is dubbed.
Yeah.
And there's a funny story about... there's a funny coincidence about the dubbing for that. But they showed off some clips of their bits they did for Train to Busan. And it's very recognizably Kaiser and Lanny. But the funny thing about the dub for the Taiwanese Dragon Ball movie, which if you want to look it up, it's called Dragon Ball: The Magic Begins. It's the one that Furret has a copy of.
Yeah.
It was dubbed by Omni Productions. Does that name sound familiar?
No. Oh, yep. That sounds awfully familiar.
That is the Headmaster's dubbing studio.
Mm-hmm.
The Headmaster. What's that again?
It's a Transformers anime that never got a proper English release for a long time, but they did dub it for Asian territories that have majority English-speaking populations. Places like India, Malaysia, stuff like that. Like, there's an entire industry of alternate anime dubs out there just for parts of Asia.
Yeah.
But the Headmaster's
Yeah,
dub...
makes sense.
The Headmaster's dub is infamous because they used, like, instead of just, you know, getting the scripts from Toei, who animated the series, to form the basis of their dub script, they got their scripts from a Chinese dub of the Headmasters and then translated that into English. So we get stuff like, we get some really interesting character names for starters. Like, you know Blaster from Transformers? Basically the Autobots, the Autobot counterpart to Soundwave.
I'm afraid.
I don't expect you to. You're not as hardcore into Transformers as me and JKR are. It's okay.
Yeah.
Basically, his name's supposed to be Blaster. They dubbed him Billy.
Of all the names,
It gets worse. There's a
Metroplex Philip, didn't they? It was Philip.
They named Metroplex the giant city transformer. They named him Philip.
Because why the fuck not?
And then you get stuff like the character Daniel Witwicky being named Sparkle.
Okay, that I did not know.
this is why you do your research, folks, so that you don't end up calling Metroplex Philip or some shit like that.
And then it's also got just some awkward translations in it as well. Like, just very weirdly worded dialogue. Like, the most infamous one is when the villain of that part of the series, Scorponok, is, you know, awaiting the arrival of his Autobot rival, Fortress Maximus. The line should be something along the lines of, Fortress Maximus has come here by himself, has he? Instead, they did it as, Fortress Maximus has come himself.
Yes. They did that.
Anyway.
They also had some interesting choices with the voice direction, like any character that has a mouth plate instead of a proper mouth, they had the voice actors put their hand over their mouth to make it sound muffled.
Why would you do that?
So you get characters like Soundwave, who, you know, has the famous vocoder modulated voice to make it sound like music notes. You get him sounding like... Well, first of all, when he gets rebuilt into Sound Blaster, they decided to call him New Soundwave.
Yep.
Google not a thing, or local library
This was the
not a thing?
This was the 80s, so no.
Yeah, this is like the mid to late 80s, so Google was definitely not a thing yet.
Hell, how hard could it have been to find the
You can find a lot of clips of the Headmasters online, as well as just uploads of the entire English dub.
Which I did see, and I've provided to a few people.
Like it's a gloriously bad dub.
Yep.
And you also get like some, you know, dialogue translations that just make no sense in the context they're presented in. Like, when, in the rare instance that we get to see Rodimus Prime and Optimus Prime in the same shot, instead of saying, like, now there's 2 Primes, or, like, they've both powered up, they say, now there are 2 Optimus Primes! Even though there is only one Optimus Prime, the other is a completely different character who has the Prime rank.
Yeah.
Remember how you said I'm not as hardcore into Transformers as you are?
I'm gonna get you into it by association.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be 100% against your will. And you will love it. You too will come to realize that Thunderblast is one of the most underrated female Transformers, because not only did they give her underboob, they gave her nipples.
Yep. And no, we are not joking.
There's a reason that the TF Wiki captioned one of the more gratuitous shots of her with, "Please let the animators see their families."
Mm-hmm. Like, if anything, I would like to see Thunderblast make a return. And if she's not a speedboat, fine. But maybe, like, make her a Seeker or something. 'Cause I think
No. Make her a motorboat just for the pun.
God damn it. I'm only saying that she's a Seeker. I would only say make her a Seeker just for the fact that we could have more female Seekers.
More female Seekers than just Slipstream.
Yes.
Not that Slipstream's a bad character, it's just... It would be nice to have more than just Slipstream and occasionally Acid Storm.
Right.
Also, props to Acid Storm for whether it's intentional or not, being the first gender fluid transformer in one of the main shows.
Yep. My thoughts exactly. I was like, hey, this is actually this is cool. As like before I even knew what gender fluid was, and I was like, oh, okay, that's fine. I didn't care.
Gender fluid is why I drink to turn into my Maxine form. That's all it is. I don't know why it's so confusing.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's not that hard
You
to
just drink
understand.
your gender fluid, and then over time you become what... I am minimizing how difficult it is to... I'm getting off this before I get, like, dogpiled by my trans friends.
Yes, please stop before you get...
Being overly insensitive. Understandable.
Yeah, I don't want you to get into trouble, Ari.
And getting dogpiled in a way that's not fun, I should add.
Yeah, but in general, though, I feel like we need more female Seekers. I mean, I know that people can say it's like, oh, well, some of the you could just repurpose a lot of your Siege Seekers or whatever into females, and I'm like, yeah, but I like the idea of having certain Seekers be like smaller builds and different builds.
Yeah, not all of them having the same, like, generic masculine Seeker build. Having the female Seekers have more feminine builds.
Yeah, I mean, they don't have to have it. They don't have to have it.
I actually prefer when they don't have, like, when female Transformers don't have the overly feminine builds, because it makes for better figures. I'm looking at Strong Arm versus most RCs.
Yeah, definitely. My thought process is this. The way I see it, some of the female Seekers, you could argue that their build, gender aside, you could argue that the reason why they're built so slim and everything, they could be like interceptors.
I thought you were about to say they could be intersex, which is a completely different thing.
Yeah, no, why would I say that, Ari?
Because you said interset, and I was like, my mind auto-completed that to intersex.
Yeah,
like I said, I've had a long day. I've had a long couple of days.
Today, in general, was long because of the fuck-up at the
yeah, the fuck-up at the theater. But we won't rant about that on stream. We'll rant about it privately.
Yep.
Very well, rant about it in my DMs, all you wish.
We'll make a call out post on our Twitter well, not on our Twitter.coms, because most of us don't use Twitter.com anymore.
Right.
I'll make a call out post on my bluesky.com.
Yes.
Or tumblr.com.
Who's there?
It wasn't me. I didn't do it. I didn't do it, I swear.
Hey.
Fat blonde guy with disheveled hair throwing up into a toilet very violently. I feel called out by this.
I wonder why.
I'm not saying that you did. Look, my name is James. James Sunderland.
Eddie.
I wonder why you feel called out, Ari.
It's like when they put Hifumi Yamada into Danganronpa, and I was like, this guy's just me.
Literally me for real, negative.
He's my spirit animal.
Well, they came at me.
I mean, that's the reason why when I was in the Danganronpa fan dub series, the first character I auditioned for was Hifumi.
Easy, deep breath.
And it's why I've spent years perfecting my Hifumi voice as just part of my regular lineup. I use it for actually moments most often.
Yeah, and I remember it was like you and I were doing that, like you were doing that for whatever reason. Like you just slipped into your Hifumi voice, doing the whole actually trying to correct me on shit when you were just being, like you were just trying to be funny.
Yes.
And I was like, okay, Hifumi, thank you. What will we do without you, Hifumi?
Eddie.
I appreciate being corrected so long as the corrector is correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Which usually Ari was technically correct, the best kind of correct. It was just a case where it was like he just
even when I'm wrong, I still find a way to be technically right about some part of it.
Yeah.
I'm that asshole.
Yeah.
Top 10 most useless superpowers. Don't know where to end up on that list. Still.
Top 10 most useless superpowers always manages to be technically correct at least part of the time. It's like going back to dang old grandpa Danganronpa. Makes me think of like, you know, the character Yasuhiro, how he's supposed to be the ultimate fortune teller. And like his accuracy is like I'm 30%, like I'm correct 30% of the time, and that makes me the world's best fortune teller. And I'm like, well, you're still better than, like, you know, the palm reader down the street from where I live. Not that I would know. I'm not paying to get my palm read. I get the feeling that if I were to visit a fortune teller, rather than read my own fortune with the official Sonic the Hedgehog fortune cards, it would be like, I foresee you losing $15. That'll be $15.
Yeah, right.
Hot take, tarot is most useful for fiction.
I mean, tarot's for fun. Most fortune reading is for fun. I don't like it when, like, these, you know, fortune tellers or psychics, you know, overstep their boundaries and do stuff like, oh, I don't know, trying to aid in missing persons investigations.
Yeah.
That's where, or like, telling people that they can communicate with dead loved ones.
Yeah, nah.
Now you can talk to these nuts, though.
Got him! But yes, for Cobalt Rogue, going back to my recommendation of Senran Kagura's Shinobi Master, there's another reason that I recommend it to you. Other than, you know, being able to get a compressed adaptation of the Senran Kagura later game stories, as well as the only new material we're going to get for a while that's not tied to a gacha game.
It's Haruka, isn't it? It's something
Not
to
only
do
is
with Haruka. It's
not
Haruka.
only is Haruka in it, they finally cut the crap and gave us Booba without the convenient censorship.
Nice.
And Katsuragi's still there. Katsu is, one of the best characters in that series. Raging, like, unapologetically lesbian, and we love her for it.
Yeah, among the most violently lesbian fictional characters we've all ever seen.
Among them, definitely in the top 5.
Yeah.
Even though canonically she's technically not a lesbian. There's an optional piece of dialogue where, like, you can talk to her in the ninja room in one of the games in between missions, and she says that she is attracted to boys. She just thinks that girls are more fun to tease and pursue.
Plot twist!
So basically, it's like, no, you're not totally out of luck if she's your waifu.
Gotta throw those boys a bone.
Yeah.
Why did I phrase it like it?
I mean, I can think of a worse way to phrase some. I can think of a worse way to phrase something completely innocent, like when Joel from Vinesauce was streaming some Skyrim mods.
Go ahead, share with the class.
One of the mods was like he could make his character a big skeleton and summon a giant chicken as a mount to ride on. And he said, never in my life did I think I would get to see a big bone riding a giant cock. Or something along those lines. This was years ago, so I'm paraphrasing.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, I remember when I was like a little kid, and I would remember the exact ways people said things, and I was bothered that people usually paraphrased, and like, now I get it!
Yeah, I get it now too. Ever since I found out that I was autistic, in the most awkward way that I could find out.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, oh my god, finally, all these annoying quirks about me make sense. And I'm proud of them.
As you should be.
Yeah, when you think back to all the foreshadowing that happens, or something. Yeah.
Foreshadowing is a literary device where... I've got H-Bomber Guy on the brain because I'm anticipating, like, he's got to come out with a new video sometime in December. He usually comes out with one in December. He does, like, one video a year, and it's always something that absolutely shakes the YouTube landscape. So what's it gonna be this year? Last year, he, wrecked the entire career of James Somerton. A guy that I'd never heard of, and everything I've learned about him has been against my will.
Oh, jeez.
But now I'm happy that his career's been wrecked.
Mm-hmm.
And he also aided in taking down the Illuminati by exposing her for plagiarism.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that.
Speaking of Silent Hill, she's a common source of the false belief that the town of Silent Hill is based off the real-life Pennsylvania town of Centralia.
Illuminati is the source of that?
Illuminati was a YouTube channel.
I know that.
Yeah, she did a video about the real-life Silent Hill, Centralia, Pennsylvania, which she incorrectly pronounces the whole time as Centralia, because she doesn't do her fucking research.
Right.
And it's like, not only is she making that assumption baselessly, people who have worked on Silent Hill are pissed about people asking them about Centralia because they don't know what Centralia is. They didn't know about this town when they were making Silent Hill.
Yeah, no. It was just a coincidence. And she just assumed because, oh, these two towns are consumed by some sort of smoke or fog, then that must be what the, that
They're
must be
ghost towns that are consumed by an oppressive atmosphere of some sort of smoky and or hazy substance. Therefore, they are the same.
Right. Which is not the case.
Never did I think the Illuminati would be that easy to take down. Everyone hypes them up as some sort of unbeatable organization. When it's like, no, all you have to do is make a Twitter expose thread.
Yep.
These
Oh,
methods
first
for
death of the
final boss
stream.
of real life.
What just happened?
I died.
Oh, okay.
Can you not tell by the text? I died.
Before I even saw that you died is what I said. What just happened? Because I saw the screen go black.
I got gangbanged by some mannequins. I told you, mannequins don't fuck around in the remake. They're sitting ducks in the original, but they do not fuck around here.
No, they don't fuck around. You fuck around, and then you find out.
Yeah, exactly. I fuck around, and then I find out. And then I keep fucking around because I'm terrible at retaining information.
God damn it. Yeah, for me, it's more like, I'm like, oh yeah, I probably won't retain it the first time. Maybe the second time I will. After the 43rd time, then definitely, yeah, I will definitely get it by that point.
Your
Hey,
Honor,
you know what they say.
I don't know what an HD is, but my doctor says I have 80 of them.
I've never heard that one before. That's good.
That's a new one on me.
That's a good one.
Let's see.
Congratulations. I would applaud you if I weren't currently holding a controller. I just realized I've gone this whole time without saving since, like, we were in the bar. So that would probably be good to do.
Oh, no. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Where's the save thingy?
I already saved. They are the red
Oh,
notes
good.
that you come across are save points.
I mean, yeah, I noticed that.
If you check out my webcam feed, you'll see a live view of what I'm doing without having to watch it on Twitch. I should have, pointed that out earlier.
Yeah, it's all good.
Oh, God.
I've got so many handgun bullets. There's a joke about Texans here, but that's low-hanging fruit even for me. As a Texan.
Yeah.
As a Texan?
I was born in Amarillo. The town that Grandpa and Grandma used to live in. For a while.
Naruhodo.
You're lucky that I finally started getting into JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. So I can start to understand those references, even though I've only seen part 1 so far.
Yeah.
I love part 1. Can't wait to see part 2, which, makes it weird that I haven't started part 2. I'm just really bad at binge watching series. I have to be in the
Yeah.
right mindset to sit down and watch a show.
That's fair, which also explains why I never suggested when we should watch Hell of a Boss together while I was out there, because partially because I forgot, and two was also the fact that I didn't think you were in the right mindset to binge watch that, so
I mean, we were
realized that
also
after the fact.
preoccupied with watching the 100% true life story of Weird Al Yankovic, who unfortunately was murdered by a hitman sent by Colombian drug lord Madonna in 1984 at the MTV VMAs.
Yes. Such a sad time.
But thankfully, he came back as a zombie.
Yeah.
That sounds like a very drug-induced story, and I've heard some people say
You
very
need to see
drug-induced
Weird
things.
the Al Yankovic story. It is a brilliant, phenomenal parody of those, generic rock star biopics. It helps that it's not a Roku exclusive anymore. You can it's on everything now.
Yeah, Ari rented it on
Yeah,
Prime.
Hey, Lulu! Surprised to see you here. How you doing? Thanks for the resub.
26 months,
26
bitch.
months in a row.
Nice.
I did not ask for bat shots, sir and or madam. Depending on which two halves you're sewn together from.
Maybe it's both. Yeah.
Tired from work? Yeah. Yeah, I understand that. I've had to work, not recently, but I've had to work during the holidays before.
Same.
I had to work on Christmas one time. On Christmas Day. At a movie theater, working the, ticket stand. And I actually have a fond memory of, working the ticket stand at that movie theater that day. On Christmas of 2019. And do you know what it is? Don't spoil it.
I'm not gonna spoil it, but I'm thinking I think I know what you're referencing.
Yeah, but I don't think Cobalt Rogue has heard it.
No, I'm just saying I know the story.
If I heard it, then I don't remember.
I got a customer that came up to this was 2019, so it was right after Rise of Skywalker had come out.
Yep, that's that story.
Isn't that a lovely memory that every Star Wars fan has? The Rise of Skywalker.
And I had just seen it a couple days before, and was thoroughly underwhelmed and kind of pissed off by it. I got a customer that came up to me, and he asked me for an opinion on whether he should see Rise of Skywalker or Ford v Ferrari. I pointed him to Ford v Ferrari. You know, the one that was nominated for an Oscar for the one that was nominated for an Oscar for Best Picture versus one of the most forgettable movies of 2019.
The most widely despised Star Wars since Attack of the Clones.
Nah, the most widely despised one since the one that came right before it. Let's be real.
Yep.
Not that I agree with it, but not that I agree with all the hate of Last Jedi, but that's neither here nor there. We won't get into that theological
It's not
argument.
even the worst movie in the sequel trilogy.
Yeah, it's not the worst. I say it's the best movie in the sequel trilogy with the benefit of hindsight knowing how it plays out. If we're looking at purely in a vacuum of how each movie stands on its own, that would probably be Force Awakens. But, you know, as part of an overarching narrative, Last Jedi is the standout.
Yeah, I can't agree with that either. I kind of feel the opposite way. Last Jedi holds up better as an individual movie, whereas Force Awakens sets up some really exciting things that then got taught. That's exactly
what I'm saying. Last Jedi, with the benefit of knowing how the trilogy plays out, I think is the best of that trilogy. Whereas,
Your allowance.
100-bit allowance. You're being extra generous this month. Thank you, Lulu. I'm saying that Last Jedi is the best of the trilogy now that we know how the trilogy played out. Whereas Force Awakens, if you look at them as just standalone movies, rather than looking at them as part of a whole trilogy, I think Force Awakens just narrowly edges it out. By virtue of playing everything so safe and nostalgia pandering that it really, since it's just aping a pre-existing story, there's not much it can fuck up.
Yeah.
And agree to disagree.
And I'm perfectly fine with that. But my stance is, since it's part of a trilogy, which is as an ongoing story, I'm going to judge it as part of a trilogy.
It's impressive, disturbing, and makes me uncomfortable.
Makes me uncomfortable.
Yes, this whole game is impressive, disturbing, and does make me uncomfortable, Lulu. Which is how you know it's a good horror game.
And this is only on PS5 and Series X, or
it's also on PC.
PC?
PS5, Series S and X, and PC.
So I own nothing in it powerful enough to run this darn thing.
Unfortunately.
And the only thing I could possibly want that would be powerful enough to run this thing would be a good enough gaming PC. And I probably wouldn't even want one powerful enough to make it look like this, because that would mean putting down.
I mean, with modern, here's the thing: with modern graphics cards, you can get pretty good fidelity at lower performance cost than ever before. Admittedly, my graphics card is a little bit out of date. It's a 30 series when they're getting ready to do the 50 series. But like something with like, you know, a 3050 or a 3060, maybe even a 3040 can get pretty decent performance. And this is just talking NVIDIA graphics cards, of course. I'm not too knowledgeable about AMD. But like their proprietary DLSS technology allows you to like render the game internally at lower resolutions, and then scale it up to like 1080p or 4K at a lower performance cost than if you were to run it natively at 1080p or 4K. Like these whole image scaling technologies are what a lot of games on modern platforms are relying on in order to hit like a 4K 60 FPS target. Hell, even Tears of the Kingdom uses AMD's version of their that image scaling technology to achieve its visuals and a somewhat stable frame rate. And that's on Nintendo Switch.
What did you say that Tears of the Kingdom uses?
AMD's image scaling thing. Can't remember what
AMD's
it's called.
nuts?
That joke's already been made.
Yeah, fuck.
You were here for it. How did you miss it?
I didn't register that, okay? So sue me.
Gladly, I'll see you in court.
You'll have to deal with my lawyer.
Saul Goodman or Phoenix Wright?
Neither, actually. She's an attorney at law.
All right, so our first puzzle. 3 bright coins, 3 actors in play, and under the tree the maiden dead lay, and behind the maiden where she would not know, with no one nearby, a flower would grow. And then came the man so gallant and fine, in the pale moonlight light. In the male moonlight light, that seems redundant, did his golden eyes shine. I feel like that could use a second revision. Moonlight light doesn't roll. It doesn't read properly.
No, it does not.
Fuck, I only have two.
I
only have 2 of the coins.
It disturbs me as an English major who's a pretty decent writer. Mostly fiction. I prefer doing fiction. But still.
I mean, I've seen worse attempts at riddles and or questions in video games, especially Japanese ones, even though this was developed by a Western developer, but my point still stands. Like, the absolute train wreck that is the localization for Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth.
Oh, jeez.
To the point where one of the random trivia questions your Digimon can ask you, you can choose the right answer, but because they applied the wrong labels to each answer in the localization process, you have to choose a wrong answer to get the correct outcome.
Huh?
It's like, the question is something like, what fish is also known as the devil fish? Or something like that. And the answer is a haddock. But if you choose haddock, your Digimon tells you you're wrong, and that the answer is a haddock.
Internally screaming.
Meanwhile, the quote-unquote correct choice is you have to choose, I think it's like grouper. And then because that one is supposed to be where the haddock label is supposed to be. But they put it in the wrong place. Like, basically, they put it in slot 3 instead of slot 2.
Okay. Now I understand. Oh, I get it. I don't get it.
And then there's also stuff like translating bakemono, which is the Japanese word for monster, in the context of we're chasing after those monsters. They translated it 9 times out of 10 as Bakemon, which is a specific Digimon.
Right.
When you're not even chasing Digimon, you're chasing these eldritch monstrosities. Yeah, I love seeing localization fuck-ups like that, where they're more funny rather than infuriating.
Yeah.
You know, not
honestly,
something like when Jello Apocalypse tried to sabotage the localization of Lovely Complex's English dub and failed at it.
Internally screaming in weeb.
Oh, were you aware of of what Jello Apocalypse tried to do with the English dub of Lovely Complex?
I feel like I forgot something I may have been aware
This
of.
happened like a year ago, I think, or maybe it was earlier this year. Jello Apocalypse is a YouTuber, like, animation critic. You know, that whole very non-problematic and non-toxic sphere of YouTube. Who is known for having really shit takes, but speaking like he's an authority on how everything should be written. You know, one of those kind of critics. He was brought on to localize the script for the official English dub through Discotech Media of the anime Lovely Complex. He went in and tried to, in his own words, fix problems that the original story had. By changing aspects of the story and dialogue in ways that didn't line up with how the author's vision was, because he personally didn't like the story as is. But the funny thing, like, he bragged about it on his Patreon, but then it was found out that someone caught his shitty changes along the way and wrote them out. So they didn't even make it into the final product. He nuked his career over nothing.
Yep. What a fool.
Thine ego shall be thine downfall, or something like that.
Yep.
Something like that.
Something like that.
You come to my home.
I think it's from The Princess Bride.
You come
was the
to
last
my
coin?
home uninvited and tell me how I should arrange my furniture? What a fool you are! Skeleton Divine Death Blast!
I went to Juilliard, Richter! Alright, now I just got... Why am I trying to wander my way around this place instead of just using my map? Answer, because I have no sense of direction, like a real man. Now, like a real man who occasionally feels, you know, more feminine some days and presents more femininely those days.
Yep.
It takes a real man to be best girl.
Words of wisdom.
I rolled high on, just like my D&D character for my therapy D&D. I rolled high on wisdom and low on intelligence.
Hope you didn't pick wizard with stats like that.
Nah, I chose rogue.
Sweet. Nice. I feel like that resonates with me for some reason.
I
wonder why. Is your username a potential hint to it? I don't think so. It might just be a red herring.
Yeah. Red herring.
Anyways.
Wait, where is he? Where did he come from? Who invited him?
I mean, he's the one behind this mystery in Silent Hill. He's gotta be the one behind this mystery of Silent Hill. Who else could it be?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Okay, flowers. So I gotta flip this. There we go. Now, part 2 of this riddle. The man drew his blade, which does not need to be capitalized, and she froze in fear, for she did not know the oh, I see, they're proper nouns, so you know which side of the coin to show. Okay. I take back my pedantic correction.
Need to be capitalized.
But what about the riddle from before, though?
It's all about the order to put the coins in.
Oh. Oh, okay.
And which sides need to be face up. The venomous beast is now lost to the night. The Grand Chevalier's grand despair in daylight. That reads clunkily. And under the tree where the maiden dared lay, a memory now lies confined to a grave. So she needs to be the tombstone. So the snack needs to change places here. There we go. The beast who its teeth in her flesh doth bore. He who has failed, she who is no more. Now you pass judgment on figures of play. Which here is the sinner, which carries the blame. So I have to choose which one of these to put into the top slot. And the answer, for whatever reason, is the man.
Yeah, possibly have to do with any foreshadowing.
Gee, I wonder. It's almost like we've seen a lot of stuff that's foreshadowing a twist coming up.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll find out next time because we've been streaming for like 3 hours and 12 minutes.
Yep.
And I need to get up at a reasonable hour tomorrow because I'm having some maintenance guys come in to try and fix that leak in my bathroom.
Oh, yes.
I see.
So let's get back over here and get out of the void. Void. And let's see who we're raiding tonight, if anyone. We're gonna raid Orange's Orange again, who is still doing a Zelda-thon, playing a modded version of Skyward Sword that inserts her own VTuber avatar as Link's outfit. Which is what she tends to do for these modded Zelda playthroughs. which is really cool.
Yosh.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Thank you to JKR and Cobalt Rogue for joining me tonight. I'll see you guys tomorrow night with the annual Riffmas stream, where we'll be looking at bad and or cheesy public domain Christmas movies.
Yeah.
Until then, unpleasant dreams.
Well, we're the boys of chorus. We hope you like our show. We know you're rooting for us, but now we have to go.
And I cannot roll fucking R's to save my life.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.